It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas. Happy Festivus to all. It's Ermanni and Edwards with me, Maz. Ermanni and Edwards, of course, on vacation already. That leaves me with my two good buddies from the Lions postgame show.
Yes,
Sam, Stick, Day, sitting next to me. Hello, Stick.
Maz, when I got the call up to be on the show, to be on Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, I could not tell you how excited I was.
I love it, man. You look great today, and you're a little
Happy holidays.
happy holidays. I like that.
Yeah, it's a cool Santa, you know?
And look who else we have in. Our good buddy, Anson Wells. Anson in the house.
I was really excited when I got the call, too, man. What better way to start the Christmas time off, man?
Hey.
Going for a Lions win this weekend, get to spend a little bit of time before that and then after with the two of you. I'm real happy to.
Not only that, we get to air our grievances today. I got a lot of problems with you people. A lot of problems.
Oh, they're personal grievances. I thought we were going to talk about Detroit sports grievances. But
a lot of problems with you people. Let's go to the sound booth and welcome in Kool-Aid.
Hey, what up, though?
Fresh
What up,
off
though?
a
What up,
Pistons
Debacle.
loss. 25 in a row for our man Kool-Aid and the Pistons. We'll get to you in a minute, Cool. And then over to the other booth, my arch nemesis,
Pete Spivak.
Pete Spivak.
Still waiting on that
Slippery-
tonguectomy.
Slippery Pete Spivak.
Slippery
Where's
Pete.
the
I like
Brady
that.
Bunch shot?
There we go.
All right, there's
And
the
here
Brady
we
Bunch.
are,
Look
the
around, look up and look down.
Bunch of dysfunctional assholes.
What's up, Kool-Aid?
Brady
How you doing
Bunch.
down there, buddy?
Hey, chat, we're talk to you today. We might even open the phones today. What do you think?
I think we should. I mean, it's the holiday season. It's going to be a loose show. We got
Yeah.
the Lions playing this
You're
Saturday
loose.
or this Sunday.
You're loose.
I know
He's
Biggins
loose.
like hearing that.
Biggins wants to call in from the post-game show. So, and you know, this is a new audience.
Yeah.
We're not normally on during the daytime. You know, when it's a Lions game, we're on Sundays, me and Anson, and I've been filling in a little bit, but I'm never on this late with you guys, really.
Well, it's good to have you back. 'cause,
Thank you.
You used to be here a lot more than you were.
Yeah,
than you are now.
used to be, but
Yes.
you know, there's a new audience you guys have captured. You've grown the show, so you know, it's a nice introduction of me to the new people and
That's
the new
great.
people to me.
Hey, guys, we got the voice of the Minnesota Vikings on today.
Yeah.
Mr. Paul Allen. The guy can call a game, been doing it for over 20 years in Minnesota. And we got our own Matt Broder, our Lions beat reporter. He'll join us live from Allen Park. He, as a matter of fact, in the locker room right now, getting us a story, he said.
Matt Broder does Matt Broder things.
he does.
You got to respect Matt Broder. He's coming here, and he's really done a great job this year
Oh,
covering
my
the
God.
team.
He's a stud.
He texted me before he went in there and wanted to know if I wanted to ask any questions or anybody that I wanted him to talk to specifically. And it's like, no, man, just do your thing.
Yeah.
Because you're going to do the right thing, and we'll get
Absolutely.
the correct information out of Matt Broder.
I
He
told
gets
him
in deep.
I said, find us a story. That's all I said.
Yeah,
find us a story. Hey, guys, let's start with last night. I gave out the Pistons as a lock.
A lock?
A lock.
A lock?
I did. A lock. I gave him out as a lock, and I want to apologize. I even told Jesse. And you know Jesse's betting some money.
You just cost so many people money.
I lost money, but I didn't lose that much. But I did lose, and I'm embarrassed. The Pistons were looking good in the first quarter for about 5 minutes.
Yep.
And then I don't know what the hell happened. I don't get it. The Jazz were down 7 players. The Pistons had everything to play for. Who wants to be a team to lose 25 games in a row? I thought, this is it. I called this game from weeks ago. I'm like, they're going to beat the Jazz. And then when they're out down 7 players, I'm like, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Right. And I lost.
They came out to the final countdown, though.
They did. Hats off, of course. Rest in peace to my man, Ken Calvert. One of the greats in the business
Kenny
here.
passed?
Ken Calvert passed at 72 years old just a couple of days ago.
Oh,
he
wow.
fell ill and he died suddenly. It was unexpected, and
He was a
we're gonna miss him.
fantastic guy.
He was fabulous.
I grew up at the
Fabulous.
Silverdome, going to Pistons
Yep.
games. We had season tickets since Joe Dumars' rookie year.
Well, give me a Joe Dumars intro.
When he would hit the Joe
Yeah.
Dumars, and it was just like that big hierarchy
Yeah.
he hit when in the finals against LA after his father passed. But Kenny Cal, man, that was always the voice. I love Mason, but that's the voice of the Pistons to
Ken
me still.
Calvert, no question about it. So Kool-Aid, we're coming to you. You were there. You cover all the Piston games. You have taken a beating this year.
man.
What did you see last night in this team? What the hell? How did they lose this game, man?
I didn't see a sense of urgency, man. I didn't see a sense of urgency at all, especially when things got tight down the stretch. 5 minutes left. They were down 4 points with an opportunity to really make something happen, and it looked hapless. And Stick, we've talked about these Pistons all year.
Yes.
Stop laughing. Please stop laughing, man. We've talked about them, man. For a young team, they should have gone a lot harder last night than they did. You're talking about no Lauri Markkanen in that game. You know, John Collins, you got a bunch of players that the Utah Jazz are coming up with now. Reports are saying that they want to actually kind of trade some of these pieces away, and you got worked by like their B squad, man. That can't happen. It can't happen. It was utter trash, and it was just really sad kind of to see their body language as like 5 minutes went, 4 minutes went. You could tell by about the 3-minute mark, it was over. It was over.
I mean, we could talk about the team, but everybody knows what the team is right now and watches it. And if you do watch it, God bless you and all the time that you have in your life to dedicate towards it. Kool-Aid, you're there every home game, and the thing I love about you is you're not just reporting on the team. You're always doing stuff with the fans. You're interacting. You're getting interviews, with in the corridor, and that's one thing the Pistons actually love about you too. Is that you report on the vibe of the building and what's going on in there. And when things were cooking a little bit, they had Cade as the #1 pick. They sold a bunch of season tickets. People were going down there. They set up the clubs.
What was our T-shirt that we put out?
The Cade Crusader.
The Cade Crusader.
Cade Crusader.
Cade Crusader.
But now, do you even interview fans in the corridor anymore? And if you do, what the hell are they like? You're like, what are you doing here? How did you get these tickets?
Yeah, listen, right now I've been talking to fans. I'm going to start doing the interviews again to interview any of the loonies that actually still show up.
Right.
I have to now. But early on, there was a lot of hope still, especially after the 2-1 start. And there was a lot that people were riding on. They were saying, you know what, we got to get our vets back.
2-1 start.
It was
October.
a strong.
Hey, they looked sharp through those first three.
They
Oh,
did.
man, first 3 games.
Bet
What a
the
great
over.
sample size.
Man.
Bet the over.
And people were ready. And then after about that first week after that, they were like, well, the vets got to get back. Well, Duran got hurt early. Now you could tell, like, people come to the arena and they're wearing other teams' jerseys. And if they're there for the Pistons, for the most part, they're leaving with about 6-7 minutes left to go in the game. And you could tell they want to see better of this team. They still have some semblance of hope with this team. But they're starting to lose it. It's waning a lot now.
I mean, I don't want to be
vibe in the building.
I don't
last
want to be
night?
the one to say it though, but y'all people, sorry, y'all who wanted those teal jerseys.
Oh, thank you.
This is what you get.
That's so right.
This is the curse of the teal jerseys
No
that
doubt.
you wanted to bring back last year. That all these kids with their little starter caps again, putting on the teal jerseys. Oh, I want to relive that era. Now we're reliving that era, and it's even worse.
They didn't live in that era. Otherwise, they would have never wanted to return to it.
Yeah, they didn't know. Jeff didn't know. God bless Jeff's soul. He didn't know about the teal era.
It was so
Lindsey
bad.
Hunter tried to tell everybody. Lindsey Hunter hated wearing that teal. And he wore it more than anybody, any Piston player in history. So anybody who wanted that teal back, I hope you're happy. You ruined Christmas.
Kool-Aid, how was the vibe of the building last night? Was it crowded to begin with?
It wasn't crowded, but it was people there that you could tell were anticipating that the Pistons could get a win that night. And
They listened to me.
yeah, for them to start chanting and yelling, "Sell the team," it was crazy because they were like literally showing fans at that point in time. You could see fans on the jumbotron.
Paper bags. I
Like,
saw paper bags.
paper bags, hunger strike signs. It was crazy, man. I was talking about this with Jeff and the crew on the Morning Woodward show, Jeff and Sam. It's a weird thing for Troy Weaver to be the GM, but to not also have that title of president of basketball operations. It seems like the Pistons just got too many cooks in the kitchen and not enough to just make a decision one way or the other.
Is there any validity to a rumor that I've heard? That's why I'm asking about the validity of it. Is Tom Gores wanted Monty Williams? Monty Williams coaches a different type of basketball than what this roster is set up to do. So Troy Weaver built a team for a coach to come in that doesn't really want these parts, even though they could be talented parts if used correctly. Is that
That's not even a rumor, man. Look, at the press conference, Gore said it. We got into it. There was some yelling, but hey, who doesn't yell in these types of meetings? We're trying to get this stuff right. And he spoke to the fact that Gore's thought personally, that Monty Williams was the best coach on the market. And if you want to do good things, you go out there and get the best. We know that Tom Gores, he had a certain set. I mean, Troy Weaver had a certain set of candidates with Kevin Ali at the top, who also was the head of player development for Overtime Elite. And that means he also had a lot to do with the development of Asar Thompson. Yeah. And they thought that he would be better suited, he or Charles Lee would be better suited to come here and lead this young squad. But then furthermore, to your point, Monty Williams in his first 2 or 3 weeks of press conferences or media availabilities continued to state, I like to mix in a little bit more vets than what we currently have right now. And at the time, they didn't have any healthy.
Right.
And then, the latest rumor that came out is that Troy Weaver wanted the lineups to be a little bit different, especially with Jaden Ivey playing. But Monty Williams just prefers more of a veteran-laden team. And it's just a bad mix all the way around, man.
I mean, I'm sitting here probably talking to the 2 biggest basketball fans I know, Kool-Aid and Anson.
Listen.
And Anson, this hurts, right, buddy?
Listen.
In my soul.
I pulled out my red, white, and blue shirt today for solidarity because I love this team. I love football. But my first passion, the Detroit Pistons.
I feel you.
And first of all, the fact that we have this owner who's more interested in profits and T-shirt cannons than anything else, we have an opportunity to allow one of our own sons, Matt Ishbia, to own this team. You've already tripled your return on investment if you sell this team. He comes in when we've got a great guy in Troy Weaver, and he puts his stamp on the team. When you're a money guy, you're not a basketball guy, Tom Gores. I think that Monty never wanted to be here. I think that the lineups that he has put forth are embarrassing and insulting to this once proud franchise. I would be happy to see Monty Williams go right now. He was not the best on the market. He had the best track record. Ime Udoka, please. Ali, please. These are guys that understand the new movement in the NBA. Monty is old guard who wants old guard players, and he has done nothing but, this team didn't have a healthy Cade. They didn't have an Asar Thompson last year, and they could compete. But now we've got this team who's just an embarrassment going out there, and you got Asar Thompson riding the pine for a clever player like Isaiah Stewart so he can get 35 minutes and linger around the three-point line. I want to see the Pistons play one game without a three-pointer taken. That's what I want to see.
They're going to trade beefs too, I think.
They need to.
Yeah, those rumors have been coming up, and I know there's a lot of decent teams that have, like the Celtics and Dallas as well that he's linked to. They're going to have to do something, but to your point, Anson, that all-bench lineup that Monty Williams kept going back to, I do not understand it. There's already not enough scoring or talent on this squad, especially not off the bench. And to not have one of Ivy, Cade, or Bojan on the court at all times, I don't understand it. Personally,
at all.
I believe if this team had more vets on it, Monty Williams would be definitely a much better-suited coach for this squad. But there's just too much disagreements going on, it seems like, within the front office and then from Troy Weaver to the head coach as well. And it's a combustible mix that has honestly resulted in what Kay Cunningham says, yeah, we're 2-26, but we're not 2-26 bad. This is looking 2-26 bad.
Kool-Aid, let me ask you a question. The body language of Monty on the sideline, how do you feel? Because he doesn't look invested. He doesn't look completely bothered by the fact that he's lost 25 games in a row and set the NBA record. The sense of urgency you talked about, I don't see it on the bench either.
Yeah, honestly, when the team doesn't show that sense of urgency, and it's what the coach continues to say, he keeps saying that it's on him, and I don't know what it's going to take, but you're right. I would like to see a different fire from the team, and I do believe that starts with your head coach and your team leaders. I really do.
Hey, plenty more coming up. We'll talk more Pistons for you. We'll come back. We're gonna
somber note.
Maz's tone is like someone just died.
We're going to switch it up a little. I got a little something on Matthew Stafford coming up here in just a couple of minutes.
Oh boy!
Oh God, I can't wait for this.
Sticks guy.
Oh God.
Start to look in your rearview mirror a little, guys. Here as Lion fans. But first, we're going to take a timeout and send it over to my man Stick. He's got a little something from Dispo.
Yeah, Maz worried about Matthew Stafford. He must be off that Dispo stuff right now. I don't know what's going on. Or you need to smoke it and calm the hell down.
There you go.
Dispo Holiday Extravaganza going on. Every Dispo location will be giving away a TV and $200 in-store gift cards. Winners will be drawn every Saturday. So make sure you get to a Dispo near you. Dispo Holiday Extravaganza.
Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
What? Oh, yeah. Nothing. G-G-G-G-A. Oh, sorry. I forgot. There we go. Oh, cheers, buddy. I think we need to get you a pick.
Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesells.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 and make your home buying dreams come true. And now back to more of Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, Stick and Anson.
Oh, thank you, Johnny Olson. Come on down, everybody. Welcome to the new Price is Right. It's Maz and Stick and Anson and Kool-Aid and Slippery Pete Spivak.
And the police are here.
And the police. Hang on here.
Price is wrong.
Let's see if we can get that. Look at
Hang on
behind
a
Maz.
second,
Yeah, pan up there.
Oh, Popo. Bad boy.
Uh-oh.
We were talking Maz is trouble, man.
Ready to arrest Maz for his
Maz
hot
is
takes.
trouble, baby.
Yeah.
What'd you do, man?
Not me, man. Not this time, at least.
Pull over there.
Not this time.
Price is wrong.
Welcome back to Woodward Sports, everybody. We just finished our Pistons funeral march. We're now going to get into some Lions because we're feeling good. We usually do the Lions post game, but we're doing the Lions pregame today. But we're going to start it off with Thursday Night Football from last night.
Ooh, yeah.
If you guys caught it, I gave the Rams out too, so I was 1-1 last night. Rams.
You picked
and
the
Pistons.
Pistons.
I know. Rams
You
and
picked the
Pistons.
Pistons.
I did.
I bet I'm at halftime down 6. I like the money line. I was like, this is the one.
There you go, buddy.
Whoops.
Yep, whoops. Hey, Derek Carr did it again, right? Derek Carr, and it's going to pick up another $40 million from the Saints here next month if he stays with the Saints. But Matthew Stafford and the Rams, they get the win last night. 30, what was the final on this score?
30-22.
30-22.
And it wasn't like that. It was 30
It's literally right there on the screen, man.
I can't see it. I
You
don't have my
can't see
glasses.
that?
No.
Okay.
I don't have my
Well,
glasses.
but to be fair, it was a 30-7 game most of the way. I mean, it was a blowout until
Yeah.
a couple of garbage
I
point touchdowns.
have it here on the paper, but I didn't want to look down.
That's okay,
I
man.
wanted to act cool.
That's
and
all right.
know the score.
You're doing
Anyway,
great. You're doing great.
2 touchdowns for Matthew Stafford, almost 350 yards. And Puka Nacua.
Puka.
There's someone on the panel here that really loves himself some Puka Nacua. And I think it's that guy right there in the Maz chair, now the Anson chair today.
Yeah, he lucked out and got him in a fantasy draft, and now he thinks he's Nostradamus.
180 yards.
He ain't on your team, is he?
No, he isn't.
2 touchdowns, 180 yards. The guy don't drop a pass.
No.
Rashid Shaheed's on mine, though.
He's unbelievable, man.
really is.
But the Rams guys
Some
are
of those
number
catches were
6
crazy.
now. You know who the number 3 seed plays in the playoffs?
The number
They
6.
played at number 6. So right now, it's Lions-Rams at Ford Field.
Ooh.
Ooh, does that scare you, man?
I mean,
Yeah, I'd rather not play them
why?
because out of all the teams I could pick, they'd be the last team I'd want to play.
because of this headline.
8-7.
This headline. Matt Stafford wins playoff game at Ford Field. That's what's scary. That's the only thing. I think that there's no better way to start off your playoff run than to beat the guy that could never win it for you. There's no better way
of
to
course.
start the things
I would
off.
love that.
For sure. But it's scary as hell,
It
man.
is.
No doubt.
Listen, you got to beat who's on the schedule, boys.
Sean McVay
Stoked,
against Jared
not
Goff.
scared.
Yeah, but that's-
Stoked, not
that's
scared.
juju,
How about
though,
this
bro.
headline? Jared Goff takes out former team.
Oh yeah, there's big headline
We're scared
there.
of Matt Stafford, but we ain't scared of what Jared Goff is doing. And you know what? Here's what I love about this. I want this. We need this as a city because what we need is Matthew Stafford to come back to town.
Wall.
Oh, you need me on that wall. And we need Matthew Stafford in Ford Field to obliterate the wart that was the old Lions teams.
Yep.
That's it. Just get rid of the entire past, the entire history, and the best way to stomp it out is to beat Matthew Stafford. Nothing personal against Matt, but he's a part of what we used to be. He's a part of the SOL. You want to beat SOL, beat the supposed best quarterback that some people have ever seen in a Lions uniform. And that, to me, is an opportunity for the Lions and Jared Goff to get some get back. Oh, I want Jared Goff to have a home game against the Rams. I want him to put Sean McVay into the announcer booth, which is what's going to happen if they get knocked out in the first round. Because you know, Matty Stafford, this is his last year. Donald last year. McVay last year. End the franchise started your franchise.
All right, listen to these numbers. The last 5 games for Matthew Stafford. 12 touchdowns, 1 interception, 66% completion, 1,400 yards. You want to play that guy?
Yeah.
There's no more of a perfect and more marketable game scenario for the NFL than these two teams coming back and meeting in the playoffs after that trade, after the championship, after the come up from the Lions. But you're looking at the perfect fantasy fairy tale success scenario or the most SOL fantasy failure situation. Because if the Lions lose that game, I can't even be living in this city that summer. Okay?
Yeah.
But if we win that game, again, it is the exact scenario that you would want as a Lions fan to start to get your first playoff win.
Who are
in
all
however
those
many
Detroit
years.
Rams fans going to root for?
Yeah, those T-shirts are so
That's a good
They
point.
should show up with their Detroit Rams shirt on. All those shirts should be burned.
Bro,
Thank you
I
very
went
much.
to Game 7 in San Antonio, and my dad's buddy wore an flipping Spurs hat. He's like, well, just in case I don't... No, you
in case I don't
pick
wanna
a
get-
side, leave those stupid shirts from a couple years ago at home, and bring your Honolulu Blue
And
out.
that actually is a good point because this is going to be a dividing moment for a lot of fans who are still hung up on the old
Good point.
Lions, hung up
Very
on
good
Matthew.
point.
You're going to have to plant your flag and be like, listen, I'm rooting for my team against my guy. And I don't know if a lot of fans are willing to make that
Oh, yeah,
delineation.
of course they
You think
will.
so?
Oh, God, yeah.
I don't know.
Before or after the game?
Stafford love is warranted. I think Stafford is great.
Kelly and the kids
Hall
will
of
be
Famer.
there.
Yeah, no complaint.
Hall of Fame
Kelly and the
quarterback.
kids will
No
be in the
complaint.
suite.
He will be in the Hall of Fame. That is guaranteed.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, I don't know.
I know you
why.
hate that.
I don't know why, but
He,
okay.
he had an arguable resume if he stayed a Lion without a ring. With a ring, it's hard to ever put that
Yeah,
on.
well, the ring got him there. I'll agree with that. But when he was here, he was not
I
a
can
Hall
put a
of Fame
stat up
quarterback.
for you if you like. I'd like to put it up on the screen.
Can you read it, though?
No, but I know. Hey, Pete, put
Low
up the
blow.
Matthew Stafford Hall of Fame thing that I had in Around the NFL. It's about 3 receivers, guys, that he played with.
Oh, yeah, the Puka,
one being Calvin
yep.
Johnson.
Oh, that was one of the.
the Cooper Cup.
It was one of the things.
Yes.
Hang on, I got it downloaded here, Maz, because
It's
that was
okay.
one of the graphics being made for us the last second. Here
Okay,
you go.
Pete.
I got it.
Didn't need to hear that, but okay.
Oh, for the love
Thank
of
you,
God.
Pete. Anyway, it's coming up.
Pete's panicking. over
These
there.
It's
two in a
Calvin
phone booth,
Johnson.
though.
It's Calvin Johnson. It's Cooper Kupp.
Yep.
And now it's Puka Nacua, who can get the rookie record here with another, couple hundred yards?
Okay.
I'm just saying. The same quarterback
Sam
for all
Laporta.
3 of those receivers.
Listen, put Stafford in Johnson's offense as a
Stafford put
rookie.
up numbers.
I'm just saying, if you put Stafford into this team, I mean, I think he could have. I think he could have done more in this offense with this team at a young age than what we will ever see out of Goff. And that's not taking anything away from Jared
But Goff
Goff.
doesn't have a number 2 defense like Stafford did. So, I mean, we could play tit for tat every
What,
day.
1
like,
year?
Still, that number 2 defense.
Okay.
That Lion
We're not hanging our hat
Hold
on one good defense out of 20
that
terrible
Lion
ones.
defense in 2014 was spectacular.
Yeah.
Spectacular.
And it was wasted.
It was.
It was wasted. So I mean, we can play the what if game. If Stafford had this, well, he didn't. He had other benefits that he didn't work with. So I'm excited for this game. I'm not scared about this game. This is the game I want.
Yeah.
Like
it would be
I
fun.
would prefer it line up like this. It would be nerve wracking. It would be exciting. We'd have a ton to talk about.
Or-
the narratives going in, and then you guys started with Stafford beating the Lions, but didn't even think of Goff beating his old team.
That's
Come on,
true.
Goff's got a lot to play for too.
Oh, my
He
God.
was
Yeah, he
cast
does.
out of there like he was some good-for-nothing quarterback. Never took him to the Super Bowl.
He's
They're
got
like,
more to
here,
play for.
take 2 first-round picks, and we're gonna throw in this guy who was a number 1 overall pick. He's got a lot of riding on this game too. So I think I would be ecstatic if this was the lineup.
So we're talking playoff football for the Lions here. I got a gift for you guys I'm going to bring up.
Ooh. You're actually getting up?
Uh-oh.
He's getting up. Uh-oh.
Ooh.
What do we have?
Gem Mint, gentlemen.
Gem Mint, some Barry Sanders season
Oh,
schedule
my.
from 1990.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This is mint.
I know, baby.
I'm afraid to open it.
Oh, you can open it up and look at all
Open it up,
those
man.
W's
Here, man,
inside
I
of there.
look at all the double.
Hold it up.
Look at this. It's gorgeous.
The last time the Lions won
Split
a
screen,
playoff
gorgeous.
game, I don't know why, but I grabbed a stack of them back then. Unfortunately, we haven't seen another since. But I think maybe we should be grabbing some schedules from this year, gentlemen.
Man, that's a beauty. And just to let you know, that is the uniform. The uniform. That's the one.
I like the alt blues they were wearing the other day.
I just like the silver in this. You know, they don't have the silver anymore.
Right.
They basically just have gray and those gray pajamas. But we are going to get new unis this year.
pajamas. Yes,
sir.
Maybe even a new logo, which I hope not. But I think they're going to do some tweaking this year before the draft.
Okay.
I'm up for that.
Whatever. Just
It's a
win-
good
just
time to
win
unveil
football
it during when
games.
everybody's here in Detroit too. That's
Thank
cool.
you, Anson.
Love it. Yeah, you're welcome. Merry
I'm
Christmas.
putting that away.
Cool.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Anson, did you show him what I got you today?
Oh man,
Yeah, I'm going to show you what
where's my Joy Bell at, baby? Now it's not Gem Mint, but he is a legend around these Woodward parts here.
A Joik Bell.
Oh man.
I got a Cornelius Biscuit Bennett from Sam's Stick Day. Thank you. 1990
And Pete?
version when they went and lost to the Giants. So it's means special day.
They are very good at losing.
We got
And then, I got, thank you very much, Stick. I got a Barry Sanders schedule as well. And then Kevin Green, baby.
Yeah.
Go, KG.
Kool-Aid. I'll get you after the show.
Thank you, brother.
Who you got for Kool-Aid?
I don't know, man.
You got to choose him. You can't let him choose.
I will.
All right.
All right.
Let me think. Let me get Kool-Aid an Andre Drummond. Get him an Andre Drummond.
Kool-Aid, are you going to suit up and play for the Pistons? Let's quit messing around.
6-man all day.
Did they have those open tryouts already?
I think they did, but I think they should open it back up. I'm good to go out there and at least hit 2 or 3 open threes.
I think I can drain one from the corner.
I would so go to that
can
and get
get that
embarrassed just to say I tried out for the Pistons.
They've been doing it the past couple years.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They'd throw me out after 3 minutes, but it would be worth it.
I
It would
mean,
be
at
totally
this
worth
point,
it.
you really think?
Oh, my
like,
God.
You
My
know
mind's
what?
blown
Us,
right now.
us 5 could go out and lose 25
Can
in
we
a row.
do
I'm
that?
pretty confident in that.
Can we do that?
I'll do it for even less money.
You know
I'll
what?
do it for half the money. You know what? Pay me half of what you pay Cade, and I'll go out and lose 25.
Okay, I got a question for everybody at home.
I'll take G League money.
Sam's on the bench, head coach. Well, actually, no, we'll give it to Maz. You're a head coach. Me
Stan
and,
Van Gundy.
me and Sam and Kool-Aid are the assistants. Could we have won one game in the last 25 with that same unit?
We've talked about this. I know I could have coached
Me
this team
too.
to at least 3 wins this season. I know I could coach 3 wins this
Agreed,
season.
bro.
I could have coached this team too.
I heavily agree.
It started by starting Jaden Ivey. That's
Yes.
how it starts.
He looked awesome last night.
And he looked awesome
Hell of a
last
line.
year.
Hell of a
For
line
a
last night.
turnover with about a minute to go in the game.
Well, they had 11 turnovers in our starting backcourt, so it's something that probably needs
Now,
to be fixed.
I got to watch a lot of that game last night because it was bowling night. We had it on at the bowling alley at Harbor Lane, St. Clair Shores. And do you know most of the guys were rooting against them? They want the record.
Oh yeah.
These people want the record.
Why not at this point? It's not like we're fighting for draft position. You're by far
Did
the
you
worst
want the
team
record
to-
for the Lions? Did you want to own 16?
No.
At some point, it becomes comical, and it's like, all right.
I didn't want that. I was at the last game of the.
At the last game of the season, I didn't want it, but during the season, it was like, all right, we might as well.
No.
Like,
Put
what
up
are
the
we
poll,
doing?
Pete.
No.
If the chat wants the record, or
No
they
way.
want the Pistons to break the record against the Nets here in the next 2 nights.
There you go. We'll try to air the grievance.
They play the Nets on Saturday night. That would give them 26. 27 would be Tuesday, the day after Christmas, against the Nets, this time at Little Caesars Arena. What's the record? 26? So 26 to tie, 27 to own it.
I mean, if you're going to be bad, be as bad as you can be. Like, look at the 119 lost Tigers. They didn't set the record, and that sucks. They still lost 119
My Mets
games.
did, 62
and now there's,
Mets.
Yeah, now there's no notoriety around them. At least the Lions are a trivia question
Put 'em
on
on a trivia
Jeopardy at
card.
some
Okay,
point.
so here's the
If the
poll.
Pistons don't break this record, we went through this for nothing.
Everybody, there's the
at least
poll.
we could be a question.
See the poll, Cougar?
What is the poll?
See the poll, Cougar? It's up. Pete just put it up.
Anson's
Do you want the
soul is
Pistons to
hurt.
get the all-time losing streak at 26?
No.
Yes,
Yes.
or no?
No.
So put your
Yes.
vote in.
No.
Yes.
I'm going to say.
So the all-time
I'm not gonna
losing
tell you
streak,
what I
by the
said.
way, is 26, shared by Cleveland and Philadelphia in
Correct.
one season. Philly has 28 straight, spanning 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So, but no, I don't
We'll get
want
that,
that.
too, in one
How can
season.
you love your hometown team and
2-80.
want them to have a record of
2-80.
futility?
2-80.
Get out of here.
Hey, guess what? They're going to have a record of futility. No matter what we do the rest of the way, it's over, Anson. The season's over, so you might as well, like...
I don't know that.
9 wins.
I don't know that.
Mathematically eliminated from the playoffs.
We don't know that, Kool-Aid. We don't know that.
And you know the gut punch?
Yeah.
Your Detroit Pistons with the 5th overall draft pick.
Like, sure. Yeah, we'll get
Again.
that again. We'll get that
Hey,
again.
we
You
can
already
say
know.
that, but we got the number 1 with Cade. Like, come on. Like, do you expect to get the number 1 every single year?
Are you ready for this?
Ain't gonna
When Wemby's coming out, yeah, I did.
Here's
You-
a stat for
well,
you.
that's what you
the
get for
Spurs
trusting.
have lost 20 of 21, and they've picked up a game on the Pistons. They have lost 20 of 21 and picked up a game on the Pistons.
Man.
What do we got coming up here, Stick?
Isaiah
More
Livers is
losses?
trash.
Oh, are you talking about on the show?
Yeah, no, commercial-wise.
Oh, commercial-wise.
What do we got,
What
Pete?
the hell
We
is
have
going on?
Planet Fitness and then you.
All right, Planet Fitness. Let's go to Pete in the hot box. Pete, what do you got for Planet Fitness?
sakes.
For crying out loud.
You hear the way they talk to me around here? Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and we mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you will experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, a full-body workout in just 30 minutes, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all of this for just $10 a month, no commitment.
Just $10?
Just $10, Stick. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. Now over to Maz for Labrador.
Let me show
Black.
it to you guys. The best stocking stuffer in Detroit City, right here. 3 guys in their basement in Detroit on a cold winter day came up with this game, and it could be yours. And you could put it in your stocking. You know you guys didn't get all your gifts. So get on it right now. Click on that QR code right above my head, or go to jacklabrador.com and get this beautiful game. Only $20. It's a remake of the rock, paper, scissors game. 2 new symbols, 3 new games, and it comes in this gorgeous, gorgeous package.
It's a nice package you got there,
It's a
Maz.
nice package you got there. You
Yeah.
get the deck of cards, you get it all. Get
didn't-
on it right now.
Maz
jacklabrador.com.
got a black package. Who knew?
Merry Christmas from Woodward Sports and Jack Labrador. Shut up.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Hey, everybody, give your pet the best, especially around the Christmas holidays. Do not hand them down. You got to take care of your pets. Do not settle for less. Give them the best. That's why you got to go to Premier Pet Supply. Hands down, Michigan's best pet store, family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available, and curbside delivery as well. Give your pet the best. Do not settle for less. Get right now online at premierpetsupply.com.
I mean, you've been a player here, you understand it, how excited people are to try to clinch this division title, but just not carrying the weight of the past. How do you express that to the guys as well?
Yeah, I think no, they don't. Now, I understand, Bert. I understand. I definitely do. And I think that's what a lot of this is about. But we are a young team, and most of these guys weren't even born last time that they won a division. So it's not, but I think they also understand how special it'll be. You're telling me we can be a division winner first time in 30 years for an organization. That's special. I don't care how you cut it. And so whatever perspective you take, it's still special. So I think that's the message. And they understand that. And look, we want this, but I would tell you, Minnesota wants this division too, and they're going to be ready to go, and so we got our hands full, but I like where we're at.
All right, fellas, welcome back to Woodward Sports. Tom Mazaway, Stick is here, Anson. We got Kool-Aid and Pete in the building. You just heard from Dan Campbell talking about how big this Viking game would be. Remember last Christmas Eve, guys? I don't have to bring it up to you. I will. Panthers walked all over them and kind of ruined their playoff hopes. This time's a little different. They're in the driver's seat.
Yep.
They played 2 out of the next 3 games against Minnesota. You can make the last game. It doesn't even matter. If you win this game right now, get that 2-game winning streak heading into Dallas on New Year's Eve, Stick.
It's a big spot. I mean, a lot riding on this game. It's the first time that I can remember that the Lions can clinch the division, clinch their playoff spot on the same night. I mean, it was weird last week rooting for them not to clinch the playoff spot, because
I wanted Seattle to win.
Yeah, but you wanted the Lions to still have that shot at that number 2 seed, and
they still do.
Usually, I talked about this earlier in the week. Like usually, the Lions back into the playoffs. The last 2 times they got in, like they had a lead, and then they lost down the road, and they kind of backed in. This time, they just get a chance to snatch it and grab it. And I love that. And I love Dan Campbell talking about that. And Jared Goff's quote, too, that's up on our social media right now, Woodward Sports, says, "We're different. We don't carry the weight of the last 30 years." And we do as fans, but it's nice to hear that from your quarterback because that's something that when those guys come in town, you hear it. Like you're fighting the Lions past. You're not only fighting the team in front of you, you're fighting all the teams behind you. So hopefully there's some truth to that, what Jared Goff said. But I love what the Lions are doing, and the way the Vikings are trending, their offense just looks horrible. Their defense looks good. That's the only thing I'm worried about is their defense. Daniil Hunter.
We'll talk to Paul Allen about half an hour from now, 25 minutes.
Yep.
The voice of the Vikings. We'll get more on the Vikes from him. Anson, I'm coming to you on this one. What he said about Jared Goff, about not carrying that weight. You don't think you put that uniform on, it's automatically you're carrying that weight, if you ask me.
Yeah, it's one thing to say something, because that's what you're supposed to say if you're a Lion right now. But it's just there. It's forever looming until we get that playoff win, until we see some sustained success. What I found interesting was a little more telling was what Dan Campbell just said. Oh, I understand. Because he was here.
He was 0-16.
He knows what it is to be a Lions bad team, and he knows what it's like to have some promise and then just watch it go out the door. So I know that he's carrying some of those ghosts. These young guys can say they're not, but they're floating around them whether they realize it or not.
Hey, the 0-16 team, I had season tickets. That was my last year. I had great seats, 35-yard line. It was awesome. The last game was against the Saints, and Lions were in that game, but they blew it just because that's what they did.
Oh, yeah.
And he was there. Dan Campbell was a big monster tight end on the sidelines. Things like that stick with you as a player. Just look at the Pistons walking around with this 25-game losing streak. You see Cade Cunningham. He looks like he's 35 years old now.
I got a question, though. That game, do you remember how packed that stadium was?
Of course.
That is that was what meant so much to me. I may or may not have came away with a seat back from that game as well. But the thing that I was left with was the fandom. The Lions downtrodden fans didn't care. Everybody there wanted us to win that game. There wasn't anybody hoping that we'd go 0-16.
And then the Browns had to blow it and do 0-16 as well.
We had it. I was happy about that.
You think?
I want to see somebody go 0-17 so we drop down.
And guess what? Those are the only 2 teams that haven't made a Super Bowl, although the Browns were a franchise. What do you call it? An expansion franchise.
Yeah,
so
weren't you guys just saying you didn't want the record, and then you were mad that the Browns tied it? Come on, you can't have it both ways.
No, I was happy. I said
you own it.
I said I was happy that they got it because I didn't want us to be the only team. I want somebody to go 0-17, so drop down that list. I don't want to be on the top of the loser list.
Well, that's the good news. At least we got one winning team in this town right now.
Yes, we do.
I mean, the Red Wings are in the midst of a horrible stretch, too.
Well, they lost 4 in a row. It's okay.
I think they lost like 6 of their last 7. it's
prior
not
to that,
good.
Prior
right?
to that, they won 7 out of 8.
Hey, prior to that. But either way, they're a 500 hockey team.
They are.
And that's
They could
okay.
be a playoff team,
That's
though.
okay.
Yeah, they're coming back.
We used to always have the discussion, who's closer, who's closer, who's closer. Now that's not even a discussion we can have amongst our 4 teams here in Detroit, because 3 of them are absolute trash right now. And the Lions, who I think in the day you'd say, I'd trade all 3 teams just for one good Lions season, and we're getting it. Yeah. And on Sunday, when they clinched that division, Anson, we're gonna have to bust out some champagne. We haven't done that in the post-game show.
We committed to that. We committed that.
We put the champagne away.
Division championship or a playoff win.
Yep, because victories. At first, it was just a victory, because when we first started Woodward Sports, we won a calendar year.
Crazy.
From, I think it was 12-7-21 to 12-6-22 was the distance between
and
wins.
And they beat the Vikings.
Then they beat the Vikings on that last play.
Yeah.
And, man.
That was phenomenal.
Yeah.
That felt like a playoff game. Wasn't that something?
It was a monkey off the back.
His first win.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell's first win.
Yeah. And that speaks volumes about how much we've put those 3 letters I won't say today away, because you were excited and happy with that kind of a win.
Doesn't
and now,
start with an S, does it?
now no, it doesn't. No, I'm not saying that. Yeah, no, it's just that's the evolution of not only this team but also being a fan now, because we can expect these kinds of wins and we can be really upset when in games that we know we shouldn't have dumped, instead of just trying to get that one game a year.
My, how far we've come.
Hey, I got
feels
something
so
for you,
good
Stick.
to be a Lions
Stick,
fan.
I got something for you, because you're in a good mood. It's Christmas. Your favorite player, Penei Sewell. Hey, Pete, can we put up a stat for a Penei Sewell? This guy, he's Pro Bowl bound, folks.
Yep.
Look at this. He is only allowed 2.8% pressures. That is lowest in the NFL.
It's wild.
The lowest of any offensive lineman.
So we're going to see in 2 weeks just exactly who's better out of him and Mr. Parsons, right?
We saw last time they played. Yeah. He dominated Parsons.
But Parsons will be everywhere. He's gonna be,
exactly, because he knows if he lines up going against Penei Sewell, he's going to get worked.
You're probably right.
And that's why they have to move Parsons all the way around. And me and Maz go back and forth. It's a friendly little rivalry. He loves Parsons. I love Penei Sewell. But just to watch that guy and watch what he's turned into, and Taylor Decker's getting a little long in the tooth. Eventually, you're going to move Penei Sewell to that left side, and you're going to really see some things out of him.
That was his position coming out of college.
And to be able to switch and do what he did is just it just shows so much. And to me, the defining moment in Penei Sewell's career here in Detroit is when he grabbed Aaron Donald by the face mask and showed he's not backing down to the biggest, baddest dude in the league, and he will dominate. And that's exactly what he's done in a Lions uniform.
That was one of my favorite moments of that losing season.
It really was almost a turning point, right? They lost that game,
and they tried their hardest to win.
They pulled every trick out of the bag that game. Yeah, but that moment, it was like, this is a guy who sets the culture and the tone for you.
Fantastic.
Right? Somebody that's not going to back down. Somebody that you know is the toughest guy on the field, and he has your quarterback's back. Like, I can't speak highly enough about Penei Sewell. And then you see the softer side with him, with his kids on the sideline, him being a good dad too. And it's like, all right, now it's really my guy. Not only is he a badass on the field, he's a great dad. He's a good human being. Like, he's the guy you can build a culture around, and the Lions have ever since they drafted him.
Remember when they drafted him, how excited they were to run up, and they were jumping up and down like they got their quarterback of the future.
Yeah,
that's the way it looked.
Well, and the Lions offense has carried this team for 2 seasons completely, while they wait basically for the defense to catch up. So goes the offensive line and Penei Sewell, the rest follows. And when he's on, I mean, we've seen a game or two this season where he hasn't been perfect, and the whole line kind of followed suit. He's the quarterback of this offense without being under center.
Hey, by the way, speaking of quarterbacks, I've been wanting to say this all week. Quietly over the weekend, Teddy Bridgewater kind of announced his retirement.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to put it out there for everybody. He's retiring at the end of this year, hook or crook. He wants to go coach high school football.
Good for him.
So, Teddy Bridgewater, I'd like to see him play the final game of the year against the team that he started with, the Minnesota Vikings. When that game means nothing, I would like to see him as the quarterback for that game.
Yeah, it's a weird position right now for the Lions.
Depending if they can move.
You want that game to mean nothing, but it may mean something.
It might.
I mean,
It's
if
gonna.
San Francisco fumbles something down the road, lose a game.
They're playing the Ravens this week.
That could very well be an L, and next thing you know, you're vying for that number 1 overall seed. Because during the postgame show this week, I was trying to convince these guys, Easy and Anson, that the Cowboys game really doesn't mean anything. Like, I'm not excited for
seeding it does.
Well, now it does. That was before the Cowboys lost.
Because if Philly wins out, they win the East.
Right. But during the postgame show, I was like, listen, I would rather get 2 wins against Minnesota than a win against Dallas. And, they were putting a lot of heat on, no, that Dallas game is important to prove to yourself that you can beat a winning team, that you can go into the playoffs and handle them. Now that Dallas lost, that game is almost like a mini play-in game for the Lions, because it's going to determine a lot about who they're playing, where they're seated, and then you may not even have to face a San Francisco until the NFC Championship game.
And we control our destiny if we win out these 3 games. So at this point, to be the number 2 seed, I don't see any path for Teddy to see the field. What I am honestly worried about, and I've seen this happen so many different times. I had a list of different quarterbacks that it's happened to. Can't find it, but I mean, Hostetler, Doug Jones, these guys come out of nowhere that they get forced into a position where they have to win playoff games. I mean, we saw it in Philadelphia, 8 years ago, however many.
Nick Foles.
So this kind of scares me. If this hadn't come out until the summer and they were saying, hey, I'm retiring, now all of a sudden the stage is set for this guy who was highly touted coming out of college and never could quite put it together, had injuries.
Yeah, big injury.
And so now I could see this be a situation where he comes out and has to win an NFC Championship game when we I don't want that to happen.
No.
But it's always these weird narratives that turn into these headlines.
It's good to have a guy like him though in the wings.
He's the guy I'd want. Absolutely. I think he was easily the best, veteran backup on the market. Thought he was a great guy to bring in to be able to mentor Hendon Hooker. Because it's one thing to be a starting quarterback and try and mentor another guy, but you're on the field so much.
Yeah.
And that guy's
they work together a lot.
Absolutely.
And Case Keenum is pretty damn good too, backup. Ask the Texans about that.
Yeah,
and of course,
no
Joe
doubt.
Flacco off the streets taking Cleveland to the playoffs. That guy, Kevin Stefanski, if Cleveland wins out here, I think he's coach of the year. Kevin Stefanski, the Browns.
Tough to beat Dan Campbell for coach of the year. You got to be honest. What he's done with this culture. If the Lions win a division and
but it's also tough to dig a dead man out of the ground and then prop him up under center and have him throw a couple touchdowns every week.
It's almost like a game manager can get you wins in the
NFL. Game management.
How about that, Maz? Who's
Dilfer.
got Hamlin Pub?
That's Pete.
Pete, tell us about Hamlin Pub.
We love Hamlin Pub.
We do love Hamlin Pub, boys. And have you ever wanted a bar where you're a regular? We have just the place for you. Head to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where everyone's a regular. Whether you're enjoying half-off pizza on a Thursday or game day specials available during all Michigan sports and NFL games, Hamlin Pub is the place. Visit a location today and experience your new favorite pub for all things sports.
Have you ever wondered where all the finest restaurants get their steaks? It's Fairway Packing Company, providing Michigan restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef for over 60 years. But now you can buy these cuts of meat for yourself at the Steak Shop by Fairway Packing Company. Prime porterhouse, A5 Japanese New York strip steak, dry-aged Wagyu beef tomahawk. Delicious. Get to the Steak Shop today. Enjoy fine wine, have a private party, and get the finest cuts of meat anywhere. The Steak Shop on Mack Avenue in Grosse Pointe Woods, or order online, fairwaypacking.com.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, two of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Hey, do you wear clothes? We got clothes for you to wear, and it's got Woodward Sports on it. So
Nice.
that's pretty cool. The holidays are here. If you could rush your shipping, you could get it in time for Christmas. Got that stoked, not scared that D-Mac always shouts loud and proud, and he's talking about Matthew Stafford coming into Ford Field to take on these Lions. Stoked, not scared of Matthew Stafford. So go get that shirt right now. WoodwardSports.com/shop.
Stoked, not scared. Stoked,
Right.
not scared. Stoked, not scared.
It'd be a great gift for Festivus.
Ah, the
great
holiday.
Festivus gift.
Maz, do you want to get into Aaron some grievances real quick?
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Yeah, let's do
And
it.
everybody in the chat, if you got some grievances to air, let
It
us
is
know.
Festivus. Let me put my poll up.
The holiday for the rest of us.
There's
Maz,
the poll.
for people who don't know what Festivus is, because Seinfeld was on in the 90s, which is almost 30 years ago.
That sucks.
It's
I just watched it last night. What are you talking about?
It's still so good.
It's still on. People can stream it. But for people who don't know what Festivus is, will you please
Yes.
tell us?
I wish
Because
I could-
you are George
The
Costanza.
rest of us.
I win. I wish I could play the clip for you guys because it really makes up for it. So it's George Costanza, obviously on Seinfeld. It's Jerry's best friend. His dad, Frank Costanza, played by Jerry Stiller, I think the greatest character in television history, came up with this holiday called Festivus. And he puts up a pole, an aluminum pole, because he doesn't like the tree. He doesn't like the tinsel. Everything is distracting to him. So he's like, Festivus is a holiday. It's because one year I reached for a doll in a toy store, and another man was reaching for the same doll. And Frank comes and says, as I rain blows down upon him, I knew there had to be a better way. A Festivus for the rest of us. Must have been some doll. She was. That was a quote.
She was.
So he puts a pole up in his house. He has the family and friends over for dinner. They sit around the dinner table, and he goes, all right, it's time for the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people, and now you're going to hear about it. You, Stick. Go.
Oh, I thought you were going to start with your grievance on me. Maz, why don't you show us how it's done? Go around the room. What's your grievance? I know. We know what your
Okay.
grievance is with Kool-Aid.
My
We all learned that as a network.
Oh, and that was so unfair. Kool-Aid, you know that wasn't against you. You told me about that. Otherwise, I wouldn't have known. My only grievance with Kool-Aid is I never know if he's coming or not because it's 3 minutes. Pause. Because it's 3 minutes to 2 o'clock, and here he comes, nice and easy, comes in, does his job. That's the only thing that my hair. I got a lot of problems with you. Everything I like or say, you have to disagree. I feel like when I do a show with you, I might as well do a show with the chat. I might as well bring in the entire chat, sit him in your chair, and do a show with him because I can't say anything right to you.
Yada, yada, yada.
Yada, yada, yada. What do you got?
Oh, my grievance?
Yeah.
Maz, my grievance. I just have a grievance with the Detroit Pistons. I can't stand this. It's so awful to watch. No, I mean, everybody in this room, I don't have grievances with everybody. Anson, my grievance with him is that he's going to stand on this SOL stuff till the very end.
No,
until they win a Super Bowl, it's not
No,
SOL.
until they make the Super Bowl.
And-
Until I see something I haven't seen.
And I guess my biggest grievance that I never thought I would say is I am starting to learn to hate Lions fans. They're making
New
me
money,
feel,
young money fans.
They're new money Lions. They're making me feel like y'all don't even deserve a winner sometimes. Because even when the team's winning, you're bitching about what they're doing. They went on a 3-2 skid over 5 games, and it was they're never going to win a playoff game. This team doesn't have what it takes. They're not. I heard they weren't going to win out the rest of the season, and it's like, come on, man. Like you are smarter than that. So those Lions fans, those new money Lions fans, that's where my grievance lies. I never thought I'd turn on my own people. I never thought I'd look at a Lions fan and be like, you are not a smart fan. Because it used to be, you're a Lions fan. You know what it's like to experience this hurt. We're in this pain together. And now it seems like there's two types of Lions fans. The ones who are still stuck in the hurt realm, like Anson, and the ones that are hopeful for the future, like me.
Oh, I'm super hopeful. I just have a dose of reality.
Okay.
In terms of my grievance, I'm pretty sure that I aired one already. I don't need to talk about Monty Williams anymore. And I'm not going to focus on the complete bipolarness of Detroit fans week to week. I'm going to go back and air my grievance over the fascination with Isaiah Livers, who is trash. It is the same Detroit, only Detroit fans would stand on this hill the same way that they did, thinking that they should have taken a guy named Burke over KCP. Get over it. The guy should not be on the floor. Bunch of the guys on the Pistons shouldn't be on the floor. Honestly, my grievance is just with the Pistons. We'll just leave it at that.
It's so hard not to have a grievance with the Pistons. Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Air one of your grievances this holiday season, and it doesn't have to be at Maz.
Listen, bro, it's got to be the Pistons, man. When I started the podcast, Woodward Pistons podcast with Rod Beard, one of the things I talked about with him was the fact that he did not really get to cover winning Pistons basketball. And he had hoped in my time that I would be able to cover that. It's been 3 seasons now. And it's only gone downhill since I started.
So it's you.
That is my grievance, man.
Well, and the problem is it wasn't very high up the hill when you started either.
Hey, is this the first Pistons sweep we've seen in years?
Yeah.
All 4 of us with grievances against the Pistons.
Oh, we got to get Pete.
Pete, you got some grievances there today?
Yeah, I guess you could say I got one grievance. It's against myself.
Oh.
It's tough enough
I second that.
It's tough enough seeing my dear friend Maz a couple times a month, but now I got to see him 5 days a week a month. It's my fault for accepting this job to work with him. So I guess it's I'm angry at myself for having to deal with him 5 days a week. No, I love him like a brother. The Pistons definitely. Let's make it a 5-way sweep.
Sweet.
The Pistons definitely. Once I grew up in the Bad Boys era, I have the original Bad Boys shirt. Bill. We're going to talk about Bill Laimbeer here coming up, who's definitely overdue for the Hall of Fame.
He's
but
going.
it's like Pistons, man. I remember the Pistons just being a thorn in Michael Jordan's side back in the day, and now look at them. What have they fallen to?
Sad, man. Hey, very sad. But happy Festivus to everybody. Merry Christmas. We're here for another hour, guys. So you got us for another hour. And coming up right after the break, we're going to have Paul Allen, the voice of the Minnesota Vikings, one of the best in the business. He's been doing it for such a long time. You'll hear from him. He'll talk Lions Vikings with us after this break, Chad. What do we got coming up here?
We got Feldman.
All right.
Hey, Feldman.
That's you there,
Chevrolet. If you need a new Chevy, you got to go to Feldman. It's Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, and we do our live broadcast out in Novi every other Monday. So stop on by and see the crew there, and they can hook you up with a brand new car. You got a lease you want to get out of, they are your lease experts as well. Feldman Chevrolet. And you know what? Christmas is here. Why not get one of those big bows, buy a car, and put it in your spouse's driveway? Because everybody does that during Christmas time. I see it in the commercials.
They do.
Feldman Chevrolet. Go get one.
It's got to be true.
It's true.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, guys, let's talk about Outdoor Equipment Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports, Michigan-owned and family-owned and operated. Bad boy mowers, tractors, style handhelds, and even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, Generac generators. Get yourself a generator for Christmas. SnowX plows and salters. Outdoor Equipco has it all. Buy it, rent it, 0% financing delivered to your doorstep. OutdoorEquipco.com. We're back. It's Woodward Sports here on a Festivus weekend, a Christmas weekend. Hope everyone is safe with their families, enjoying their time as we take you to the weekend here. Christmas on a kind of a weird kind of day. Christmas Eve on a Sunday.
You like
Christmas
it, though.
Day on a Monday.
You love it, though.
You gotta love it.
I mean,
You gotta love
busts into your work week a little bit. Everybody gets that time off.
A lot of football.
We don't.
Though.
We don't because sports just go on and on and on. But most people have a 9 to 5, and
they do.
You loved when holidays would fall on a Monday because then you get that Tuesday off too sometimes.
That's right. Sometimes if you got a
long weekend,
nice place there.
Yep.
Anyway, Tom Mazaway,
the iHeartRadio.
Stick is here. We got Anson, we got Pete and Kool-Aid, and we got Paul Allen on the line. My man, Minnesota Vikings play-by-play voice, one of the best in the business. Make it your point. If you got Sirius satellite radio, dial in. If once the Lions are done, of course, listen to that Viking call. He is one of the best. PA on the mic on Twitter. Paul, welcome into the show. Thank you.
Yo, what's going on? And Merry Christmas to you guys. Thank you very much for the nice words. And in the sassy vein of Kool-Aid, I was drinking that purple Kool-Aid until we started wheeling through 4 quarterbacks, and then all of a sudden everything changed.
Hey, but you still play one-score games, Paul. No one plays more exciting games than the Minnesota Vikings do.
Well, a common thread between these two teams would be the acumen of the coaching staffs. I mean, I've been really impressed with what Detroit's been able to do the last couple of years, despite more distractions last year than this year. And Kevin O'Connell and Brian Flores and this staff here, I mean, this is a very, very good staff. So we just lost a very tightly contested game to Cincinnati. And that staff was Zach Taylor and all those guys, man, just very, very good. So this is the nut-cutting time of the year where the mental wherewithal of the staffs are tested for breaking tendencies and stuff like that. And physically speaking, coming up to game number 15 for the players, physically and mentally speaking, they got to push through a lot of things. So, I have a lot of respect for players and coaches this time of the year, and a lot of respect for those Lions.
Hey, Paul Allen, thanks for joining us. My name's Stick. We've never really talked before, but, it was kind of fun watching you guys rise with the Pasternaut at quarterback. But Dobbs kind of fell out of grace there. And, for people that weren't following the team, he was a hot story for like 3 weeks, and then he got put third string. With him being a mobile quarterback, a lot of people here thought, they got a mobile quarterback now. It's going to be issues for the Lions. Is there any buzz about maybe him playing this week against them?
Stick, what up? I got all your albums, including your greatest hits. Well, buzz about him playing, that'd be an absolute zero.
Okay.
With all due respect. And maybe they should have called him Run-Turnaut.
Yeah.
Because sadly, when he had to pass in Las Vegas a couple of games ago, he threw what was known as a hospital ball, and it actually put Justin in the hospital. Fortunately, Jefferson's okay. So that that in all my years of calling Vikings football, and it's about the same amount of years, one of my very favorites in the NFL. I've never seen delirium, Dobbs delirium, or I've never seen anything overcome a team the way that thing did for 2.5 games. I mean, for him to come into the Atlanta game, basically on 72, 90 hours and do what he did was unbelievable. But it all played itself out the second half of our game against the Saints, where Dennis Allen figured some things out and put him in bad spots. So he lost his job. And now the rookie Jaron Hall backs up Nick Mullins. Mullins plays the way that is closest to Cousins for a team that has built its entire offense around the quarterback spot. So, I know that's a lot, and I got all the Sticks albums, but that's about the best way to describe it.
Paul, I'm Anson here. You're talking about Jaron Hall, and I think you hit the nail on the head with Nick Mullins really shadowing and kind of recreating Cousins for them. If the Vikings are eliminated week 18 and they come here to Detroit, I think we're going to see Jaren Hall. I think the Vikings would want to see what they have in him, and I think he's the scariest quarterback that they have on the roster for us to play right now, especially in a week 18. Is that somebody we could see?
Yeah, I mean, I feel you on the angle, but the question would be, truly, what would you see? I think if the Lions win the division, which they're prohibitively favored, they probably will. Like, if they're not playing for anything, then, I mean, it really is a preseason game because, I don't see Jefferson or players or Hawkinson or whatever playing in games like that. So then truly what would you be getting from Jaren Hall in a situation like that? Maybe the opportunity to just go through the entire thing during the week. It's not a bad idea. I just think it would be rather insignificant at this stage of the equation, given, they know what they have in him, and I know they would like to see more, but I just don't know if that scenario would be exactly the perfect scenario.
Paul Allen joins us, longtime voice of the Minnesota Vikings, KFAN. You still doing that morning show, Paul?
Yeah, 9 to noon, FM 100.3.
KFAN, part of the vast and ever-expanding iHeartRadio family.
Yes, sir. One of the top sports stations in the country. I wanted to ask you about Kirk Cousins, a guy that I really love. Obviously, a Michigan State product here from town. Do you see him coming back next year, or do you think Kevin O'Connell wants to go out and draft his own quarterback?
Boy, that's a wonderful question, and I had kind of put it on the back burner until this week, and I've been thinking about it a little bit this week, like, what's next for Kirk? I'm quite fond of him, too.
I love him.
And with Kevin O'Connell and, his quarterback, we got 7 of them now. We certainly could lose this weekend. I don't see Jordan Love rolling in here and beating Brian Flores after what Flores did to Jordan Love at Lambeau earlier this season. Should be a felony in 48 states. So I don't care what our lot in life is. They ain't going to win that game. Then going to Detroit and winning, that's going to be tough. I mean, the listening audience here doesn't like it when I say this, but the Lions should have beaten us 4 times in a row.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, you got the Amon-Ra St. Brown walk-off when Dantzler blew it. And, Madison fumbles at the 20, and then Goff hits, I think it was Robbie Anderson for the 2, and now all of a sudden we're in trouble. But the Lions have really outplayed the Vikings a majority of these last 4 games. So they match up incredibly well against the Vikings, and Minnesota's battered. They're just kind of battered right now. So we got to see what our pick status is in the first round.
Yeah.
I am part of the camp that believes, the buzz in 2020 that started to pop up, that's going to be the best wide receiver draft in the history of the NFL. Quite honestly, from Justin Jefferson through, I don't know, Gabe Davis, Darnell Mooney, I think it is. And then last year it started to pop up. It's one of the, if not the deepest and best tight end drafts in the history of the NFL. Look who you got in the second round.
Oh, yeah.
Laporta's the bomb.
Well, look who we gave you.
You got Kraft for Green. You got Kraft for Green Bay. Ben Sims for Green Bay was with us in training camp as undrafted from Baylor. Shoot, he's scoring for them now. So those saying that this quarterback draft might be one of the deeper in the history of the NFL, I believe it. Which means outside of Williams and the North Carolina kid, what would Kevin identify that he would really want that would be the future of Minnesota Vikings football? Because, back to Stick's question about Dobbs, the thing with Dobbs, and I let myself go down this road a little bit too, where he was so freaking hot, and it was so different than anything I and we had ever seen, that I started to get a little dreamy, being like, wow, I mean, what if we had a quarterback 3 years, $35 million? That'd be unbelievable, and say he's good. But then we started throwing it, and it was a problem. So, trying to find that quarterback on that rookie deal, that would really be cool if they could do that here.
No doubt.
Yeah, no doubt about that. That's one thing that we talk about all the time here in Detroit is Jared Goff and extending him and whatnot. But I want to know from the Minnesota perspective, I mean, we know what it's like to be Lions fans, and we know what Lions teams have been looked at in the past, just kind of a team that a get-right game.
Yep.
Hey, let's look past them to the next week. How is the tone now in Minnesota when they talk about the Detroit Lions?
Well, yeah, I can't speak for the state, but I mean, like myself and the producer and the football people that we'll have on the 9 to noon show, and chatting with Vikings coaches and players and stuff like that this week, is there's reverence for the team, and I'm not playing both sides of the fence here. I mean, it's when I tell you that I can argue they should have beaten us 4 in a row, I ain't lying. And even before the Lions got this good, a team that into the season when Vikings fans couldn't figure out how we won 13 games, and yet Detroit is like a 2-1 favorite to win the division. That's because it's a young team coming together with a quarterback who I've said for about the last 3 years, Jared Goff's one of the most underrated players that I have ever seen in my 22 years calling football games. He's just, is he top 3, top 5? No. Does he get you beat? Generally not. Can he move? Who cares? Is he accurate? Yes. And is he afraid? No. And there's just so much so much nuance that goes behind the scenes that gets underrated by people who analyze. And first and foremost is he scared? Is he jittery? Do the feet go to dancing? Does he throw stupid passes because he's afraid? That's not the case with him, man. So the Lions got a good-ass quarterback. The running game with Montgomery and Gibbs, seriously, I could not have heard more about that this week out at Vikings practice. A couple of backs, set to maybe get to 2,000 combined. And Jameer, they don't put him in a lot of pass protection situations, but they're starting to put him in more complicated and difficult situations, and shoot, the kid's coming through. But finally on this, I've just always like the Lions, and I think the reason is when their coordinator was Darrell Bevel. All right, Darrell's one of my best friends that I've ever had in football. And then Todd Downing was the quarterback's coach.
Yep.
He's from Eden Prairie, Minnesota. I've known him and his family for 25 years. So, I always pulled for them. And then it's not because it was like the lovable loser. I just always liked the Lions. And I love Ford Field, by the way. It's one of my favorite stops the entire year. I like that Madison Square Garden type lighting and stuff. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, walks off on us, all right? And Cam Dantzler just completely blew it, and it was an emotional loss, and Ford Field was loud. I had 1 of 2 ways to go in that call at the end of the game, and I got a little upset and a little emotional. But then it hit me. That's the Lions' first win in a year.
Yep.
And the first time, because of the pandemic, their fans had seen a win in 2 years.
Yep.
So, you're jaded and your heart is hardened if you can't find appreciation or happiness for what just happened here, man. Yeah. And now that opinion around the buses didn't go over incredibly well, but that's what's in my heart. I like the Lions. If we don't get to the Super Bowl, I want Dan Miller to call a Super Bowl game so I can listen.
God bless you,
how
man.
beautiful would that sound?
God bless you. You tell it like
God
it is.
bless you.
You like Howard Cosell, telling it like it is.
That's nice of you.
Hey, Paul, thank you so much, man. We wish you the best. You are one of the best in the business, guys. If you're done with a Lions game, get on Sirius Satellite and listen to Paul call a game. He's one of the best in the biz. Dan Miller right with him. Paul, good luck this weekend, but not too good a luck. We need this win.
No, have a great call
yes,
of a great Lions win.
Merry Christmas, my friend.
I appreciate you on that, and God bless you all you guys.
Amen.
Christmas with gifts and food and family and friends and football and all that, that's great. But for a Christian, it's an incredibly significant day. Makes my chin quiver. And when you guys said God bless, it just triggered that in me. So God bless you guys, and I look forward to talking to you next time.
All right, Paul.
Thank you, Paul.
PA on the mic, guys. Get on that. It's a great Twitter follow, and you get to see his calls like you do here for Dan. Paul, thank you very much, Mr. Allen. Awesome.
Yeah.
The Vikings and the Lions coming up, baby.
It's
coming up. Christmas Eve, man.
The one thing I loved about what he was talking about, too, is that rookie deal carousel that they're trying to find with a quarterback and how nice it would be, but sometimes it just doesn't work out, and that's why you would rather have a dependable, reliable guy like a Jared Goff.
Now, in hindsight, I was thinking, Nick Mullins, we can get this guy. But hearing him saying he's as close to Kirk Cousins as they're going to get, it could be a little dangerous. You got to get after the quarterback. They're going to come after Goff big time. They have a
their
very
defense
good
is
defense.
legit. I'm
Very
more worried
good
about their
defense.
defense than I am their offense, to be
I'm
honest
with you there. Totally with you.
Yeah.
Totally with you. What do we got coming up, Pete?
Swiss.
Oh, let's go to Pete for a little talk on Swiss.
Don't tell me what to do.
All right, just open your mic and talk.
Do you have football on the brain? It's already been an awesome college and pro football season this year, and we're in the bowl season as well, so there you go. And winter is the perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with Swiss Insurance. They cover Woodward Sports Network, and they should be covering you too. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today at SwissINS.com or call 248-800-4177.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Hey, you ready to party for all Lions home games? Well, you better go get your tickets for the Bullseye Event Group. You go to bullseyeeventgroup.com right now, and you can party pregame with Woodward Sports as we do our live broadcast and the fine people at Long Drink. I'm going to learn what a long drink is today. Lions VIP tailgate going on. Bullseye Event Group. Get your tickets now.
The draft experience was shitty.
My high school dating experience was shitty.
I can tell you all 16 receivers and where they went to college.
I can tell you every girl that put me in the friend zone, every girl that shot me down, what grade it was, and what she said to me. Sarah Williams, freshman year at a house party, says, quote, I want to be single. Got a boyfriend the next day. Beth Samuel, junior year, I got benched during a football game. Afterwards, she came up to me and said, I want to date a starter. Kelsey McFarland, 10th grade. I took her to dinner, paid for dinner, and she told me I was the best guy friend
I've ever had.
Rachel Fletcher, took her to a party with my friend. She said, I like you,
but I like your friend better.
That was in 12th grade. Emily Westfall, senior year. I asked her to go to prom with me. She said, quote, sorry, I already have a date. She didn't even go to prom. Tanya Allen, Heather Talbert, Lindsey Turner, Leslie Frazier. It's okay, though, because now, here I am, working at Woodward Sports. They all got fat after high school, and the only thing I want back are my hoodies.
Oh, Stick. Oh, wherefore art thou, Stick?
Yeah, it was a long time ago, Maz.
That's good stuff, man.
I have too many hoodies in my life right now.
Just
That's
like
my
Amon-Ra
problem.
St. Brown. I got a list.
Wow. You are something.
I'll never forget it.
I didn't realize what a stud you were.
Had a good time, man. Had a good
Dude,
time.
he's 6'3", man. Come on.
6'4". Put some respect on the 6'4". Thank you.
He does have it. Welcome back to Woodward Sports, guys. It's Ermanni Edwards and me,
Shout out
Maz.
to Justin for putting that together.
Justin Slanik, we
my
miss
favorites.
you. We love you. Come home. We got Stick in the building. We got Anson, Pete, Kool-Aid, and you stuck with me again. It's Maz. Happy Festivus. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy Boxing Day, the day after Christmas. We got you covered here on Woodward Sports. I got a couple of NFL news and notes I like to go over every day. Our good friend, Ndamukong Suh, showed his face. Do you know who he visited the other day? He visited the Miami Dolphins again. Now, Sue's got a mansion in South Beach.
Yep.
He left us for them.
And we know there's no income tax.
That's right. And there's no income tax. And he is a very smart guy. And I remember you were telling me, Anson, that isn't he doing like media in Europe or something?
Yeah, he does games for Sky Sports. I believe. Yeah.
So he hasn't been picked up yet. Is he finished?
No, I mean, it's Ndamukong Suh. I think he's going
there's
to be
3 weeks left.
He's going to be an opportunist wherever he can. I think he's useful. He's a useful tool at the end of the season.
Hasn't he been in like 3 of the last 4 Super Bowls?
Yeah, this is what he does.
He's like a magnet.
And why wouldn't you do this?
Why wouldn't we do this?
He's not a culture fit.
Okay.
Culture.
Hey.
Now that's true. It's like when they talked about who was our head coach for the Pistons before we brought in
Dwayne Casey.
No, the guy that everybody hated, the kid that Carlisle. Yeah, it's the same thing. Like he had people left over that did not like him. And I'm wondering, is it the same deal with Suh? Because I feel like he'd be such a special fit on this defensive line right now.
I mean, listen, he's
He can't hurt.
a talented guy, right? He can't hurt, but this is where our trust for Brad Holmes and our trust for the culture that they're trying to build. We got to think they know something a little bit more than us, and that's I will until proven otherwise. I'm going to lean on that to justify things that I don't understand.
I will say this: the guy they picked up that we laughed about, Bruce Irvin, is starting to show
the Grim Reaper
that he could play.
Yeah, he damn near killed Carr.
I'm just saying, when he gets in. That line is different.
Yep.
It's different. Aiden Hutchinson gets looser. I mean, it's Isaiah Buggs down the middle. I mean, it just seems to get better when he is in the game. I want to see more of Bruce Irvin.
Well, and let's be honest, AG has started to bring pressure the last couple games.
Yeah.
That's one thing that they weren't doing. They were just, we're going to get pressure with our 4-man front. It's like, you're not. You're getting pressures, but you're not getting sacks. You're not getting game-changing plays.
Yeah.
And the last game, they really were bringing the blitz. I'd love to see the statistics on how often they blitzed last game, but it had to have been one of the higher percentages of AG's career, at least here in Detroit.
And they were chasing down Russell Wilson. This time they're going to be looking at Nick Mullins, but he's got 2 great receivers. Jordan Addison's having a phenomenal rookie year, and you got Justin Jefferson, who's just getting healthy now, and Alexander Madison hasn't not done the job in the backfield. Who's
Ty Chandler? Ty Chandler had a great week last week.
I don't know if he could redo it. I hope not.
Yeah, Madison's not going to play this week.
Let me guess, you got him on your fantasy team?
I did draft him.
I did draft Ty Chandler.
Is he going to be good, you think?
I think so. I mean, in that offense, like Dalvin Cook was a formidable, and then you expected Madison to kind of be what?
Better.
70% of what Cook was, and Chandler's in the same role as a Madison.
And whatever happened to Dalvin Cook?
I think Ty Chandler's a far more he has a lot more utility as a running back than Madison does. Madison hasn't practiced again this week. I would be more afraid to see Ty Chandler by himself, not Tyson Chandler, but Ty Chandler by himself than I would the mix of the two. Because what I watched last week when I did watch that Vikings game was him getting on a roll, and he's never really had the ball as a pro yet.
Right.
So what I saw him do, he's gonna build on that confidence. He's gonna be a tough guy to stop this weekend.
I'll tell you, man. Watch out. That you go into the Jets. Dalvin Cook he fell down a well.
Yeah.
We never saw Dalvin Cook, and on a bad Jets team, never really got a chance to get going. Either he's completely out of gas, or they completely misused him.
Their offense is just trash.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you expect? You put all your eggs in the Aaron Rodgers basket, and what do you know? Aaron Rodgers lets down another team.
He gave him 3 plays.
Yeah, quality plays. But, I mean, they went all in on Aaron Rodgers, and when he goes down 3 plays into the season, it just guts your whole team because everybody in there knew, now the star pony's out. This season's over. Zach Wilson comes in.
Yeah.
They try a couple different quarterbacks, then back to Zach Wilson.
Trevor Siemian goes this week because Wilson's still concussed. So luckily for him, he won't have to.
If I was Wilson, I wouldn't have played.
Well, he wanted to play, and he got Offensive Player of the Week the game he came back.
I guess it kind of increased his trade bait, or at least maybe he'll get signed somewhere. But, man,
the
way they jerked that poor kid around, how can you
him.
ever be a good quarterback if that happens to you? Not saying he was or could have been, but now the percentage is 0.
Look at Sam Darnold. I mean, he got thrown around by them as well, and he landed, I think he's in San Francisco as the backup right now to the guy I'm going to talk about right now, and could be the MVP, Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
Do you know how much money Brock Purdy makes in a year?
$875,000.
Do you know Arch Manning of Texas hasn't played a game?
$3 million.
Makes 3 times the amount that Brock Purdy makes.
And then some. $3 million to sit.
To me, that makes me want to just throw up in my mouth.
Yeah.
It's sickening.
Why? Why is it sickening?
Because first of all, I hate NIL. I hate it. I don't mind the players getting paid. I just don't like the way it's happened. Who was the kid, Pete, the other day drove up in a Lamborghini to his signing?
Right, I forgot.
Was it a high school kid, right?
It was a high. No, it was a transfer. I think he was going to Colorado. He showed up in a freaking black Lamborghini dressed to the nines.
Guys, this used to happen when Chris Webber was going to Michigan,
Yeah.
except they had to hide the money.
Yeah, listen,
now
Bill
they can just
Hubbard's a
flaunt
lot-
it. Like, why are we acting like these guys
Yeah.
getting paid as new? It just used to be a duffel
I know,
bag
but not
dropped
this
on their
much.
porch.
Not this much.
Well, not this much because it wasn't like
Not this
market-
much in public view.
in public
you
view,
know?
but
I lived at
the
Case
duffel
Hall.
bag man was a big guy.
I lived in Case Hall my first 2 years at Michigan State. That is the football player dorm. Every player had a car that was given to them.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
Derek Mason drove a blacked out, lowered ground effect Explorer, which was real hot in the 90s, but every school's done this, and it's just new to us. The fact that these kids can have something nice finally shouldn't bother people. The fact that these schools are using it as leverage.
But let the market find its value. Like, the market will find its
It's got to
level
find
because-
its mean, and
because-
it's far away from it already, though.
And you're seeing it with a guy like a Spencer Rattler, which happened. You know, they threw a bunch
Spencer
of
Raxter's getting money?
I wish Spencer Raxter was getting paid like Rattler. But no, they gave that kid a bunch of money. He was going to be the next Heisman hopeful. And you know
Had
what?
his own logo.
That investment fell flat on its face. And as soon as the companies that are investing or the boosters that are investing keep finding out, oh man, I'm throwing $3 million at a guy that's third string, it's going to find its level. It's just we're in the Wild West right now. This is the
But
gold rush.
The
That's
problem,
what's
though, is
happening.
the problem is it's going to find its level with all the power teams. And these other teams that should be able to utilize it, they're going to be afraid to. I think it's going to take and create what's in the MLB and even a further divide.
See, I don't want to hear that because that's what was Michigan State bitching about that too. Like, oh, we don't have it, but you got the boosters.
Michigan don't have it.
Michigan's complaining about it. Michigan's got the boosters.
But they don't use it.
And good for them. Congrats. Hats off. But that neither does Clemson. And what's happening to Clemson because Dabo is too proud to dive into the NIL. Like this is the lay of the land right now. You're either playing ball or you're not. And I don't want to hear any university complain that they ain't got enough money because Matt Ishbia went to Michigan State. He's a big booster. Do you know how much money they paid Tuck Cumming? How much money they pay that guy?
Out of that $9 million, they probably paid half.
Well, they didn't have to pay him because he breached his contract. And,
Did he?
You know, whether
Did he?
whether that's a conspiracy theory or not, that they saw the writing on the wall that the contract was over, we can get into that another time. But every university has enough money. Are they going to spend it? And is it important enough to you to go get that money?
Yeah.
And listen. Right now, it is odd how it is with all these kids getting a ton of money, but look at a guy like Braylon. Braylon should have been paid out of high school. Look what he did for Michigan. He didn't get a dime. No. So I'm not crying over any of these universities having to pay. They got the money.
Sidebar, Florida State is trying to force their way out of the ACC right now and not pay the $432 million exit fee.
I would.
They're trying to get out because they feel that they got robbed of a chance to get in the playoff because of the ACC.
I was going to say, what's the point in being in a conference where if you dominate it and win it, you don't get the ultimate reward of going to the playoffs? Yeah. What's the point of even having that conference around?
They might be a Big Ten school. They might be. SEC says probably not. So it might be Big 12, maybe Big 10.
I just don't understand how California schools are in the Atlantic Coast Conference next year.
That's just the way it is.
It drives me nuts.
America, baby, capitalism.
Who's going over there? You know?
Cal, Berkeley, and
Stanford?
And Stanford.
Yeah. They're going to the ACC, huh?
Correct.
Not the Big 12?
No.
ACC.
No, UCLA and
USC is kind of the Big 10. That I know, in Oregon and Washington.
And then they got the two schools that are staying in the Pac-10 and to keep it alive.
Oregon
Good for
State
them. And Washington State.
And Washington State.
I love what they're trying to do.
They're going to merge with like the Mountain West and try to keep the name Pac-12.
Well, and the other teams are trying to sue them to
bid.
Yeah, they're trying to sue them to shut it down, the teams that left, but the charter for the conference says that they can keep it as long as there's two.
I do too. I hope they have Kumbaya over there.
That's right.
The big two.
One of them's going to the Rose Bowl, right?
That's right. Hey, here's another one for you, NFL related. A.J. Brown. The Eagles played on Monday night. You know what A.J. Brown said? They should do away with Monday Night Football.
Get out of here.
He's like, too many people play hurt. It's just not. It's a short week. He didn't say anything about Thursday night.
I know. You're going to complain about one.
He wants to kill Monday Night Football, which has been around since 1971.
I have a worry about Monday Night Football being played in the playoffs, where you've got a team that's possibly on a 6-day rest playing a 7-day rest one.
Well, that happened last year. Cowboys and the Bucks.
Yeah, there's too much money. I mean, we're seeing games get it flexed to Saturdays, and I mean, we're going to start seeing Tuesday Night Football soon enough. There's money in it. The NFL's never going to go away from that. But if somebody's going to complain about a game, it should be the trash Thursday night games that we're subjected to week after week.
Hey, Bezos paid a lot of money for those trash games.
Yeah, he did.
So,
yeah, he did.
I mean,
speaking of the playoffs, there's going to be a game only on Peacock. I don't know what game it is yet, but you better get Peacock if you want to watch at least this particular NFL playoff game. It will only be on Peacock.
Little office afterwards.
Yep. So stand by on that. And did you see George Pickens and the Steelers?
Oh God,
it's my guy.
On Sunday. I got to play this video for you. It's George Pickens not blocking for Jalen Warren. Going down, he's going to score a touchdown, Warren is. George Pickens just stands by and does not block for his teammate. And he said, because I didn't want to get hurt, I think his quote was, I got his quote here. It says, I ain't want an injury.
You mean did go for the tackle?
That wasn't the play Matt was talking about. Way to go, Pete.
Okay.
Well, that was another one.
Because it looked like he was just standing there. I was like, oh, go ahead.
I thought it was coming to the left. I saw that one going to the right. You know, I can't see very well. I'm like, maybe
no,
Pete's
that wasn't the play
one.
he's talking about.
But anyway, he didn't throw a block for his running back teammate. And then Warren comes out and said, come on, man, I would have blocked for you. But George Pickens has done this 3 different times this year. 3 different times.
And this is why I never complained about J-Mo. Because say what you want, effort can't be coached. And this guy may have all the talent in the world, but he's not a guy I want on my team.
Yeah, I believe he's the nephew of Carl Pickens. He had some issues in college. This is one of the reasons why he wasn't slated as one of the top wide receivers, because he's a diva wide receiver. This guy's massively talented. He's one of the best wide receivers, in my opinion, that came out last year, but he's had ass quarterback play. Let's be real. And so even when they've had Pickett playing a little bit well and he was getting the ball, then they've got, and I'm blanking on his name, but the other wide receiver that's there.
Deontay Johnson.
Yes, thank you. And Johnson's a very capable guy.
Allen Robinson.
But he shouldn't be, your boy. But he shouldn't be a number one. He shouldn't be getting the majority of the targets, and that's what's been happening. And you take a guy who's already a little bit of a nuisance, and you give him free reign to be upset, and that's what you're saying.
I'm just shocked that's happening to a Mike Tomlin.
I don't think he's staying.
He's
gone.
This is multiple diva wide receivers.
Isn't this his first season out of the playoffs, though?
He's going to be gone.
I don't think so. I think Pickens will go before him.
Mike Tomlin will not be coach of the Steelers next year. Book it.
Wow.
All right.
Book it.
All right, man.
Where are we going
How do you
now?
feel
Matt
about that,
Broder,
Stick?
Matt Broder coming back after the break. But go ahead. You can answer that.
Can I? What?
He said, how do you feel about that? Mike Tomlin not coaching. I'm calling it.
I think if you
just like I called the Pistons last night.
I think if you get rid of if you get rid of Mike Tomlin, that's not the way the Steelers do business. Mike Tomlin didn't forget how to coach football overnight. He's a solid NFL coach.
They haven't fired a coach since '68.
Yeah, they've had 3 coaches in my lifetime, or 2 coaches in my lifetime.
3 in mine, 2 in yours.
Yeah, 3 in mine.
Crazy.
So either way, who we got? What are we talking about? Guardian Alarm.
Oh, there you go. Stay out.
Tomlin, stay out. Look at that. You got the black and yellow right there in honor of Mike Tomlin. Hopefully they keep him. I love Tomlin. I've always wanted the Lions to have a culture like Pittsburgh.
We got it.
1-800-STAY-OUT. That's 1-800-STAY-OUT for your local security experts. Guardian Alarm. They've been there since 1930, so almost 100 years of security expert. You want that peace of mind? There's only one number to call. 1-800-STAY-OUT.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Calling all landscapers, this is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equipment Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan-grown, family-owned, OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, it's Maz for Les Stanford. What happens when you run a great car business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford, Buick, and GMC. But I want to tell you something about the Chevy store. Right now, up until the new year starts, $2,000 down, $200 a month on a lease for a Blazer, a Trailblazer, Chevy Trailblazer. Get to a Les Stanford Chevrolet on Dearborn, $2,000 down, $200 a month from right now until the new year. Make sure you tell them Woodward Sports sent you. Les Stanford, LesStanford.com. And we're back.
There we go.
There it is. Welcome back, Woodward Sports. It's Tom Mazaway along with Stick, Anson, Kool-Aid, and Pete. We're going to come up and talk to our Lions beat reporter, Matt Broder. He sent a video in, and Pete is going to play it. Here it is.
As a wide receiver, what are some of the things that Jared Goff, or that you value about Jared Goff that doesn't show up in a stat sheet, like accuracy, ball placement, or even like his leadership abilities? What are some of those things that you value as a wide receiver?
Yeah, obviously, I think you said it, early on. His accuracy, I think, is one of the best in this league. So he's accurate. I think he throws a catchable ball, and it's hard to explain as a receiver. Some quarterbacks, maybe you're running I'm wide open, and they throw it really hard when obviously we're supposed to catch any ball that's coming our way, but maybe throwing it softer because he can in that situation, things like that I, as a receiver, that we really love, because you don't always have to throw it a million miles an hour. You can throw it softer, we're still going to catch it, and it makes it easier for us to run after catch with those type balls. So things like that, his ability to never get too high or too low in the game, whether it's going really well or not going well at all, he's always kind of even keel, which is something that I respect as a player. With all the emotion that are going through the game, there's so many things, but he's been killing it for us. We're glad to have him, and let's keep going.
There he is, Amon-Ra St. Brown, the Saint.
It's my quarterback.
Matt Broder.
It's my quarterback.
Matt Broder right there behind the lines. You hear him. You heard the ping pong game. Matt, were you playing ping pong, or who was playing ping pong back there? Matt Broder. Report for duty.
Hey, Tom.
There he is.
We go. Yes, can you hear me?
We hear you, buddy.
Hey.
Can you hear us?
You guys loud and clear.
Okay, cool,
How you
man.
doing?
Doing great. Hey, great get on Amon-Ra St. Brown. How's the feel in the locker room heading towards, well, you know what they're heading towards. Christmas Eve, a chance to clinch the NFC North, first time in, over 30 years.
And to do so, to have the opportunity to do so against the defending NFC North champs, the Lions get a chance to go into Minnesota and steal that trophy back. So it's a really big weekend for the team. They're really focused here. They're loose, but they're focused. It feels like a business as usual type atmosphere here in Allen Park, but it's a very focused business trip that they're headed on into Minneapolis.
Yeah, the last couple of games, did you sense a bit of tightness going into the last games? Because it felt like when they were on that losing skid, if we want to call it that, when they were 3-2,
they lost one in a row.
Yeah, when they were on that one-game losing streak, it kind of looked like they were playing tight and kind of in their heads. And you heard John Comiskey actually talk about that, how they were in their heads and just kind of overthinking. Do you feel that kind of lifted right now on this team?
Yes. And I don't know if it's directly related to CD Deuce, Mr. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, but when we talked to him earlier in the week, he too said it's not just that they lost their mojo, it's that they lost a little bit of that swagger. It's a very young team that hasn't experienced a whole lot of winning, and that's something they need to get used to. Before that stretch, they were on a roll, and they did. They had a couple hiccups, and it wasn't just one player playing bad. It was multiple different position units struggling a little bit, but they feel a lot more comfortable, a lot more at ease, and even more focused in going into these games feeling like they have a good game plan headed in, especially when we talk about the offense, Ben Johnson's offense, going against Brian Flores in one of the best defenses, if not the best defensive coordinator in the league.
So you're in the locker room with these guys right now, and obviously coming off of a win and a loss. How are they feeling? I mean, is it just absolute business? I mean, we hear some ping-pong in the background. Obviously, guys are going to be having some fun, but it really seems like these guys are locked in and about their business right now.
Yeah, they are, and there's usually ping-pong going on. It was Tracy Walker was playing Anthony Fursker, one of the backup tight ends, who apparently has the role or has the title as the best ping-pong player in the locker room. But Coyote was looking. He thinks he's third, or at least in that top third. So they have fun. They got to mix it up a little bit in between meetings, in between workouts, getting ready for this Minnesota team. They got a pool table and a ping pong table, and that's how they like to decompress. But yeah, they're don't let that take away from the amount of focus, because they are focused, and that's for sure.
Broder, are we going to see any more of Bruce Irvin this week? A guy that I'm really I love when he's on the field. I just think he brings something to this team that's been lacking.
Yes, I think so. And John Scott Jr., the defensive line coach for the Detroit Lions, talked really highly of Bruce Irvin and the impact he's made on the team since he's joined, and just the fact that he's still got a lot to give and is still getting his legs under him. He said expect a lot more out of him moving forward. And within the same conversation, he had brought up Tyson Alualu and the value that those veterans are bringing to just some of the little nuances that go along with being a member of that defensive line unit, and the little things that the rookies, the young guys, even Aiden Hutchinson, just doesn't have the experience to sort of naturally react to some of the things that the offensive linemen, some of the schemes, some of the pickups that they put on this defense. So there's a lot that's been going on in the last couple of weeks to get ready for a playoff push. But I definitely think Bruce Irvin is going to be a big part of that.
How's the health of the team going into the last 3 weeks of the season?
Knock on wood, it's pretty good. It's pretty good for a lot of the key players. The injury report just came out a few minutes ago. I don't know if you guys have covered it on the show, but Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow are a full go for this weekend. Awesome. Derek Barnes is questionable. I don't have it in front of me, so I'm going off memory, but Derek Barnes is questionable. But Jerry Jacobs is out. C.J. Gardner-Johnson, C.D. Deuce, is not returning this week, and he's officially ruled out.
Okay.
And then I believe that's it for like the main players you guys might be expecting to play. But the key thing I was looking for was Penei Sewell and Frank Ragnow. Penei found his way on the injury report a few days ago, but he seems to be all good.
You know, we talked about this in the post game last week about the importance of that Cowboys game. And I know Dan Campbell in that locker room is not one to look ahead to the next game. But have you heard any buzz about how important locking up that number 2 seed could be against the Cowboys? Or are they laser focused on Minnesota?
Yeah, I wish I could give you something better, Stick, but they're laser focused on Minnesota. Dan Campbell even referenced, even in terms of this division, which is the goal and is top of mind. There are a lot of guys on this team who just weren't even born when the Lions last well, obviously they haven't won the North, but last had this kind of success. So he said he definitely feels it, and he's sort of sharing that with the fellas and letting his experience and the knowledge he has around what this means for the city. He's letting that ooze out of his veins. But the guys, they're just focused on going and winning. This is now a young group who's learning how to win in front of our eyes, and in a smaller group within that only knows winning. They've come in this season, so there's a lot of different views going into this weekend, which is why Dan Campbell's keeping them so focused on just taking care of business in Minnesota, worrying about Dallas next week.
We brought it up earlier in the show how Dan Campbell was a part of the 0-16 team here in Detroit, and just how much the angst of that season caused him and the fans and all that. Does he ever reference that as a point to look how far we've come type things?
Not really. Dan Campbell, he's always taken the side of this. He doesn't say brand new Lions, but this is a brand new organization that he and Sheila Hamp and Brad Holmes, Chris Spielman, Rod Wood, they've rebuilt this thing, and they don't reference the past too often. they're focusing on what's in front of them, on the culture that's happening right now, not just continuing that, but building off of that. And we can see it in not just their draft picks, but despite the frustration of not going after some big-name targets at the deadline, bringing in veterans like Bruce Irvin and Tyson Alualu, that's all part of building the culture for the future, too, while still hoping that they provide some value on field this season. That's all just continuing to move forward, not really looking backwards.
Hey, I'll look back for us. Last Christmas Eve,
I was there.
Last Christmas Eve made me want to throw up. It kind of ruined my whole Christmas holiday. Have they even mentioned that Panthers game at all?
Yeah, actually, it was asked in Dan Campbell's press conference this morning, and he didn't. Yeah, he didn't really.
How did he answer? I'm trying to remember. It was one of those things where he actually referenced there's still a lot of guys on this team that
were on the team that had that happen in Carolina, and it's the same guys that learned how to turn things around the last few weeks of the season. You know, they had the big win in Green Bay to round out the season. So there are guys that feel that. They know what that experience was like, and you know they never want that to happen again.
No.
So they're, I don't want to say bust-proof for the rest of the season, but they're doing everything in their possibility not to have another one of those games. And I say that. They're not playing not to lose, like I'm telling you, but they're focused enough to go and really try to get ahead, really hand it to Minnesota and Dallas these next 3 games.
And Broder, I know they're not getting ahead of themselves, but it's kind of human nature. Have they been discussing what it's going to look like when they lock up the division and like, hey, that's our goal. We're not there yet. I understand that. But, I mean, there's got to be a couple guys that's like, man, I can't wait to put those goggles on and spray some champagne.
You know, to be honest, Stick, again, I wish I could give you something more entertaining, but there has been such little, if none, of that around the locker room. It's all about the next game. We're playing Minnesota. Even Jamison Williams in his interview yesterday when we were talking to him was just about someone asked him about what it would be like winning the division in Minnesota. And he's like, man, I'm just focused on winning this game, not really thinking about all the extra stuff around it. But at the same time, when I was talking to CD Deuce, to CJ Gardner-Johnson, he has the message, and this is what he's trying to share with this team about building a winning culture and learning how to win. He said he's been on 3 different teams in 5 years and has 4 division titles. And doing that is not just important to the team, but it's almost extra important for the fans. It's something they want to do for the fans because winning that division means it's home field. And we value that. Now, I know there's a lot of talk about Jared Goff and this team playing inside in a dome. We do value that, but they could care less who they play, where they play, when they play. But it's just a little sweeter being able to do so at Ford Field, and having possibly a playoff win at Ford Field would be an incredible accomplishment.
Oh, that'd be so amazing. I always told people I'd flip my car and burn my own car in my driveway if that happened. So I'm
Right?
standing true to that.
It's Stick.
Detroit.
It's Stick. It might happen on a Saturday night. We don't know what the playoff schedule is going to be like, but there's a chance that Detroit Lions get a Saturday night game.
I don't know how I'm going to handle it, but you brought up J-Mo. They worked him into the offense a little more last week, 7 targets in practice this week. Did you see any more wrinkles that they were including him in? Did you see a little more activity out of him, or is it still just kind of the process? It's been methodical as always.
Yeah, it's been the process. It's been methodical, and to be frank, we don't get to see a lot. Actually, we really don't get to see any plays on the field that are in any way strategic or could give a little wrinkle, to give a little hint to anybody on the outside about what their strategy might be. But you saw it. There was totally a focus on Jamison Williams, at least engaging him in the game early and often. And even if he wasn't catching those balls, it made such a big difference throughout the rest of the game. Looking at the middle of the field, we saw Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta, and even on Jahmyr Gibbs' touchdown, it was wide open in the middle of the field. And that's what I think a lot of people wanted to see out of – they want to see him catch the ball and use his speed, but just getting more targets, getting more involved, it opens up so much for this offense. And I think that's Ben Johnson just teasing a little bit, getting more tape out there for people for opposing defensive coordinators to get confused by, and just this team is a mismatch nightmare, especially on offense. So the more they incorporate J-Mo, to me, the better.
Can't wait for Christmas Eve. Cannot wait. Can't wait. Cannot wait for this. Before I let you go, bro, you are my baseball guy. So I got to ask you about what the Dodgers have done to Major League Baseball. Signing 3 players for over $1.2 billion on 3 players. They get Yoshinobu Yamamoto. That's right, 12 years, the Japanese pitcher, 5'9", 170 pounds, throws like Pedro Martinez. But I'm sick to my stomach that one team has all that money to spend. And I'm a Yankee fan.
Oh, come on, Yankee fan.
And I'm a Yankee, and I said I'm a Yankee fan.
Come on.
I just think it's gross. I do.
Welcome to what the rest of the world has thought of your ball club for the last 100 years.
It's not that the Yankees don't have it; they're just choosing not to spend it.
Yes. What's
Same
your take?
thing.
What's your take on the Dodgers?
I mean, I haven't sat down and really put thought to this in terms of how I feel about it affecting the game and what the salary cap or lack thereof could affect MLB moving forward. But I mean, from a business perspective, you got to give the Dodgers a little bit of credit. The billions of dollars they're getting in a U.S. TV deal before signing these Japanese players. Now you go and get maybe the best player of all time and one of the most highly touted pitching prospects of all time, both from Japan. That TV deal that they're going to be able to get over in Asia, over in Japan, is going to be well north of $20 billion.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they're going to pay for
they're
themselves.
making money off this.
That's why I don't understand these MLB GMs.
How other teams let this happen?
All GMs, look at the Tigers. When were the Tigers good? When they were top 5 payroll. And then guess what? You're bottom 5, now your team sucks. This isn't rocket science in the Major League.
Orioles are bottom 5, and they're going to win the division.
Well, there's always the Oakland A's and
Hella
teams
scouting.
that pop up and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're getting the biggest international player of all time and you're getting those rights, that $1 billion is nothing. Broder just said $20 billion on TV revenue alone. That doesn't include jersey sales. That doesn't include action figures. That doesn't include lunch boxes. That doesn't include they're going full Spaceballs with it.
Yep, no doubt. All right, bro. Thanks for the call, brother. Have a great weekend and
Wait,
Merry
Matt,
Christmas.
you want a story? Man, you want a story, don't you?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, this is semi-lines related, but a little off the beaten path. We want to involve some gaming. Remember Monet Davis, the Little League World Series pitcher? First became the first girl to earn a Little League World Series win on the mound. It was the 2014. She was pitching for the Philadelphia team. She was throwing 70 miles per hour. She was also the 2015 Best Breakthrough Athlete ESPY Award winner.
Yep.
She just actually finished an internship with the Dodgers and is now signing with C.J. Gardner-Johnson's gaming and content creation company, SOG Gaming. She's going to be, I believe, the first athlete doing content creation, reaction, gaming things with CD Deuce and his company, SOG Gaming. So I don't think it's been announced yet, but CD Deuce, I was talking to him before, he said, let it fly, baby.
That's awesome, man. Great breaking news from Matt Broder, Monet Davis. Merry Christmas to you and yours, my man.
Have a great one, guys. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Matt. Thank you, man. Continued success. You the man. Hey, before we wrap it up, I got to tell you about Big Boy. That's right. Wintertime is in Detroit. It's always better with comfort foods from Big Boy to veal parmesan, the Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. You got to get down there. You start your day off with a great breakfast, the stuffed potato pancakes, the Santa Fe and garden omelet. The lumberjack is back as well. And the apple pie hotcakes are too good to pass up. And don't forget to end your meal with a great gingerbread shake, brand new from your local Big Boy. You can even bring Jack Labrador to Big Boy. Sit in the booth, order your lunch, order your dinner, and get yourself the best stocking stuffer in Detroit. Click that QR code right above my bald head, or you can go to jacklabrador.com. $20, get you a great game. It's rock, paper, scissors, plus 2 new symbols. Jack Labrador. That's right. Get that game, $20. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy?
It's Planet Fitness.
Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Hey guys, for over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, and casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Man, can I go for one of those? Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
We'll use Fairway.
I'll beat it. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. Visit the Steak Shop in Grosse Pointe Woods on Mack Avenue for grab-and-go steaks or order online at fairwaypacking.com.
Oh, yeah. And also, if you want to look good for your family this holiday season, don't walk in and make your mom ashamed with your haircut. She raised you better than that. Go to Lady Jane's and get a new haircut. You see cake cam going on every time they show Anson, so you can come in, sit down. Beautiful girl's going to cut your hair and treat you like the king that you are. Put that crown on your head, kings, just like J.J. McCarthy. Precision haircuts at Lady Jane's.
Hey, that's a good segue, because I was going to ask you guys.
What?
Since I'm not going to see you until the new year.
Yeah.
J.J. McCarthy and the Michigan Wolverines against Alabama in the Rose Bowl.
New Year's Day.
January 1st at 5 o'clock.
Yep.
From Pasadena.
Yep.
Oh, Nelly, look at those beautiful San Gabriel Mountains. Oh, my goodness. Who do you like in that game, Stick? Tell me why as well, and then Anson, you're up.
I mean, it's tough to pick against Alabama and Nick Saban. It really is.
Spread's a point and a half.
They're
Michigan's
a monster
favorite.
team. Michigan, I want to see them win. I don't know. My head's telling me Alabama. My heart's telling me Michigan. I just want to see a damn good game.
Yeah.
I don't really have alliances to either one, but the team from Michigan is in it, so I'm rooting for a team from Michigan. I love the adversity that they fought through all season. It'd be great to not only shove it up the Big Ten's ass, but to shove it up the NCAA's ass too.
Paul Feinbaum first.
This year has made me a bigger Michigan fan than I've ever been because of all the BS that they've had to go through, and it's made me hate Ohio State more. Like they put me on that side, so I'll call Michigan by a field goal.
All right. How about you, Anson?
Anson hates talking Michigan.
I'm going to be excited only because I'll be at Cicerelli's watching it with a whole bunch of you beautiful
awesome.
people.
That's right.
I gotta get over there.
But I really,
sweater
I
party
just
tonight.
hope that Roll Tide rolls all over corn and blue and sends all of their fan base home sad. I absolutely am pulling for the Tide. I don't care about them. I don't like Nick Saban, but I want the Wolverines to lose bad.
That's a typical Michigan State fan there.
No,
That's why, guys.
That's
why
alumni, baby. That's not a fan. That's alumni.
That's why I have such disdain
The
for
Speedway
Michigan
Spartans.
State. I cannot stand the attitude of the Michigan State
if you
Spartan
had
people.
Michigan people that didn't even go to. They didn't even go to. No. What I'm saying is, if you have Michigan fans that didn't even go to Macomb Community College, talking smack to a place that you dedicated 4 or 5 years of your life to, because of a school that they probably even haven't been to Ann Arbor for a game makes you bitter towards that base.
I'm going to say this. This is the third time they're in the playoff. What do they say? 3 times is a charm. This is not your typical Alabama team. Jim Harbaugh's got a month to prepare too. Nick Saban, yeah, we know. We know the king.
170 years of bad karma chases that school on a daily basis.
Michigan wins their first.
Come on.
Oh, I'll go deep, baby. Let's talk about the Jennison games and them not wanting to pay student athletes through the whole Midwest. Well, they politic for decades to keep people out of the Big Ten and only allowed them in if they stop paying student athletes.
Jim Harbaugh is the biggest champion for athletes getting paid
well,
right
yeah,
now.
Things change.
Things change. That's why the NCAA hates him.
Tuck coming. All right? Tuck coming.
Tuck game.
Hey, they're both looking for coaches this summer. Oh, wait, we got one. That's
Michigan's beating Alabama, baby. And Jim Harbaugh ain't going anywhere.
I can't
Even
wait.
though Colin Cowherd says he is, I say he ain't. And as the boys say, I use ain't for effect.
Nick Saban's got this little spot in his pocket where he fits Harbaugh.
What are you pointing at, Pete?
I'm just going to force something on you that we have missed.
Oh. What are you forcing on me?
Hey, Billy Laimbeer.
Yes, I thought we were going to get to him.
Bill Laimbeer finally nominated for the Basketball Hall of Fame. What the hell took so long?
I don't know. Honestly, who knows? But is he going in as part of the Aces, not a part of the Pistons? Is that what I'm seeing on this graphic?
The Aces?
I think so.
So he's going in because of the WNBA.
What?
He's not going in because of the
Aces,
NBA.
It's the Shock.
I think
he coached the Aces to championship too. That's what's on the graphic right now.
Oh my
so
God.
they're not bringing him in as a Piston bad boy. They're bringing him in as a WNBA coach.
So he's got no shot, dude.
Not as the Shock champion winning coach.
Not as a Shock, nope.
But as the Aces coach.
Well, the Shocks no longer exist.
The Shock.
They do in my heart.
I mean, the Aces just tweeted that out, I think. They just tweeted that out.
I would
he's going for his entire resume.
Yes.
You know, I mean, he's as a head coach, he's got rings.
If he didn't win
as
the
a player,
WNBA
he's got rings.
These guys wouldn't be giving him his flowers.
But
And you know that.
I mean, this guy have a real shot.
Hey.
He has no shot, right?
What, to make it?
Yeah.
He should.
He's making
He
it.
should make
You
it.
think
Yes.
so? Okay,
Yes.
so wait a second.
It's
now,
late, by the way.
Now, Springfield, Massachusetts, they handle things a lot differently than the other Hall of Fames. It's not a real vote. The guy who invented the jump shot is not in there. It's somebody else. So I don't know how Bill Laimbeer gets. This is the most hated man in basketball. I want to see him in there, but do you guys really think he's got a shot?
I mean, what does he have? 5 WNBA championships? Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, and that's why he's going in. That's why the Aces tweeted that out, and not the Pistons.
I love me some Billy Lamb.
Hey, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, everybody. Happy Festivus tomorrow. Stick, thanks for coming in, man. It's
Hey,
always
thanks for
enjoyable.
having us. Yeah, we'll see you Christmas Eve for the Lions postgame
That's
show right here on
Anson,
Woodward Sports.
thanks for joining us,
Hey,
man.
thanks for having me. I love being here.
Kool-Aid, thank you, man.
Yes, sir. Hey, good job running the
Merry
show
Christmas
today,
to your
man.
family.
I was saying good job running the show, brother.
Thank you, man. Pete, thank you for everything.
Appreciate it.
Pete.
Love you, brother.
Love you, too. Happy birthday if I miss it as well.
Thank
Pete.
you, my friend. Thursday.
All right. Everybody, thanks for joining us. Woodward Sports, the heavyweights are next, and then it's Broder and Broder after them. These guys are back, of course, on Sunday after the Lions beat the Vikings and be crowned NFC North champs.
All the Jared Goff hate you want coming up next.
Let's
The
go.
heavyweights.
I'm Maz. We'll see you guys.